To order. Thank you everyone for being so patient for us to come back. I'm very excited this evening. We have some very special guests here for us. I'm going to pass it over to Dr. Rocco.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Mr. Finaccio, the principal of Crockett, is here. He's going to introduce this wonderful group of student musicians who are going to perform for us. Mr. Finaccio.
Good evening. I'm Matt Finaccio. I'm the proud principal of Crockett Middle School, and I'm excited to present to you our 8th grade orchestra. I know they are going to play 2 songs for you that they're very excited to perform.
Good evening, members of the school board, our superintendent, Dr. Rocco, and members of the community. We are 8th grade orchestra, and we hope you enjoyed our performance tonight. We wanted to share a little bit about the second piece we chose to play for you, Spring, from the Four Seasons by Antonio Vivaldi.
Our choice of music for this evening was the result of our recent independent practice projects. As a part of this project, each of us had the opportunity to investigate and research a variety of musical pieces from different eras and genres, allowing us to explore music far beyond our typical curriculum. After careful consideration, discussion, and voting, we collectively decided that Vivaldi's Spring was selected. We felt this particularly appropriate and meaningful choice for the following reasons. Just as spring represents a time of renewal, growth, and new beginnings, we felt this piece reflects our own musical journey. As 8th graders, we are growing as musicians and preparing for the next chapter in high school. The music sounds incredibly bright, energetic, and recognizable. We wanted to share something that would instantly bring a positive and uplifting feeling to everyone listening. The family's joyful melody is one that resonates with many people. It's showcasing our skills. Spring is technically challenging, requiring precision, dynamic contrast, and expressive playing. We believe it showcases the hard work and progress we have made up to this point, particularly in our ability to play together as a cohesive ensemble.
We want to highlight one more detail about this performance. While we were given a standard shorter arrangement of spring, we felt it was missing a crucial element. Therefore, we as students collectively divided to alter the arrangement to incorporate the beautiful, challenging violin solo from Vivaldi's original longer work. This addition was self-driven effort to present the music in a more complete and authentic way, demonstrating our commitment to excellence and our deeper understanding of the score. We hope you enjoy our rendition of Vivaldi's Spring.
the best way to start a meeting. Thank you so much. We have some of the most amazing, talented students here, and I thank you so much for sharing that with us. Again, best way to start a meeting, so thank you. Again, we're going to move the agenda around just a little bit. Before we do the superintendent's report, do I have our 3 student representatives for this year? 1, 2, 3. Okay. You guys want to come on up? Yep, come right up to the stage. Yep. While we're waiting for everyone to get set up, just so everyone knows, each year we have student representatives from each of our high school. So we're very happy to have them join us here at the board, and they're here throughout the school year.
You guys are going to repeat after me. We're going to go through right here. I state your name, do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States
United States,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and to the governments established in the United States and this state
established state and this state,
under the authority of the people, so help me God.
with the authority of the people, so help me God.
I state your name, do solemnly swear or affirm that I possess the qualifications prescribed by the bylaws of the Board of Education of Hamilton Township
Qualifications prescribed by the bylaws of the Board of Education of Hamilton Township
for the office of Student Representative to the Board of Education.
and to the Board of Education.
I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform
Shall justly perform
all of the duties of that office
the duties of our office
according to the best of my ability, so help me God. Congratulations.
Danielle's here. Danielle.
Daniela, we actually have you down here. You guys all have a name. So you all have a name tag. Yep. So please have a seat and welcome.
Yep, come around that way.
Oh, this
Yeah.
Would you have listened?
Much easier. Stuck in the road,
Yeah.
right?
Okay, so as I said, we're very excited to have our student representatives here with us. I'm going to move to the superintendent's report, and then we'll get to our student representative reports.
Well, thank you very, very much, and welcome to the Board of Education here. We look forward to your reports. And welcome to the end of October. We are just a couple of days away from November, which is a very fast month in schools. So I want to note a couple of dates to remember in November. November 4th, schools are closed for students. Staff have professional development. November 6th and 7th, schools are closed for students and staff for teachers convention. November 26th is a one-session day. All students will be dismissed early. November 27th and 28th, schools are closed for students and staff for the Thanksgiving break. Those are important dates just to keep in mind. A community update will be out tomorrow. We include those dates in there. This is the third community update that we're providing for the year. Right now, parent-teacher conferences are happening. I encourage every parent to get an update on their child's learning progress. Elementary schools have the conferences, middle schools and high schools. Parents, you can ask to meet or have a call with your children's teachers about their learning. And I want to emphasize this. We're a community of learners, and this means we need to work together so that every child gets the support and education they need to be successful. This month is also National Principals Month. I'd like to thank our building principals for their hard work and dedication to our students, staff, and their school communities. I appreciate the work that they do each and every day in our schools. On the agenda tonight, and I apologize if any board members were going to talk about this, but we have a couple of grants, and I just wanted to talk about them for a second. We actually have 3 grants. The first one is a Special Olympics grant. It's for $4,000 for Unified Champions School Grant. We in this district have a long history of unified sports at our high schools. This is a program where athletes of all abilities are able to participate together and compete together. It's a wonderful experience for all of our students who participate, and we're very excited about this grant. The second grant is a federal grant that we are applying for, so we are submitting. It's called a BJA STOP grant. It's a federal grant we have been working on for almost a year now. It's a 3-year safety grant that we are working with professional grant writers at no cost to our district through my National Superintendents Association. This grant that we are submitting and we hope to receive is for a total of $827,496. And then the other grant that you'll see on the agenda tonight is called the Mental Health Services Professional Demonstration Grant. Again, a federal grant, but this time Rider University contacted us about writing the grant with them. We are the only co-writer with them. They have no other districts in the county or the state writing this with them. This grant is to address the shortage of credentialed school-based mental health services providers, specifically school psychologists. It also includes an AI component for helping school psychologists complete reports so they can focus more time on students. And it includes professional development from Rider for our HTSD staff. We're submitting this 4-year grant for $1,846,516. These are 2 very large grants that we have been working on, and we hope to get good news that we will receive those grants. Last month, I notified the Board of Education that HTSD was accepted into the League of Innovative Schools. This is an outstanding accomplishment for our district. Tonight, I announced that we are now a member of the AI Policy Lab Network. HTSD joins a cohort of states and school districts that will collaborate to develop and implement clear, effective, and responsible artificial intelligence policies and guidance for staff and students. From this partnership, HTSD will contribute to and benefit from the development of best practices for AI in education, ensuring that the deployment of these new technologies is responsible, equitable, and effective for all students and educators nationwide. HTSD is also being recognized by the New Jersey Department of Education. We recently received correspondence congratulating us for our efforts in our advanced placement courses. The New Jersey Department of Education stated that the data they have collected shows HTSD has made notable progress in broadening access to advanced placement coursework for traditionally underrepresented student populations. This is directly connected to a formal initiative and part of a broader district goal. Mr. Scotto holds potential AP meetings at each high school every year in an effort to expand enrollment in advanced placement classes. That is the initiative. The broader goal is to have more students taking college-level courses to be better prepared for higher education. This initiative and goal have led to our academic agreements with colleges and universities. We continue to offer dual enrollment for college credit to our high school students through Fairleigh Dickinson University for business courses, William Patterson University for world language courses, and the College of New Jersey for every single advanced placement course we offer. These agreements are beneficial to our students and families, but also show that our students are capable of being, and they are, academically successful. If we take academics a little further, please note that our annual presentation will be in November, just as it was last year. But I'm taking a moment tonight to highlight a few things. First, I've said many times that we want to improve our test scores on the state testing. We continue to work every day on that. However, this is one test on 1 or 2 days. It's a moment in time. Given that moment in time, here are a few quick highlights from for next month's presentation based on last year's NJSLA scores. In ELA, third graders that moved to second grade, so they took third graders that moved to fourth grade that took the test as fourth graders, they saw a 13% increase from the previous year of students who are scoring 4s and 5s, which means meeting or exceeding expectation. Fourth graders who moved into fifth grade saw a 3% increase. Sixth graders that moved into seventh grade saw a 5% increase. Seventh graders into eighth grade saw a 6% increase. Look at math, our fourth into fifth saw a 2% increase. Our fifth into sixth saw a 3% increase. Our sixth into seventh saw a 4% increase, and our seventh into eighth saw a 3% increase. We continue to work to increase those percentages. Now, we do provide standard-based assessments 3 times a year called iReady. These benchmarks guide our instruction throughout the year. The data is analyzed by the principal, building data teams, and at our senior staff level. I personally talk with building principals in our monthly small group principal meetings. A few highlights from last year's iReady standards benchmark data. So from iReady, 3 times a year, ELA, grade 1 saw a 35% growth of the cohort, which means moving to on grade level from September to June last year. Grade 2 saw a 28% growth. Grade 3 saw 26% growth. Grade 4 saw 18% growth. Grade 4 saw 17% growth. Grade 6 saw 8% growth. Grade 7 saw 8% growth, and grade 8 saw 12% growth. You look at math, same thing, growth of the cohort, moving to on grade level. Grade 1 saw 32%, grade 2, 30%, grade 3, 34%, grade 4, 33%, grade 5, 25%. The above are data points of good news, but we know more work needs to be done, and we're committed to doing that work. But I want to stop there for a second. That work is not just a number or a percentage. Behind every number, behind every percentage are students and teachers. And there's a lot of hard work that goes in our classrooms every single day by our students and teachers to make sure that our students are getting the education that they deserve. So, and I appreciate the hard work that they do every day. If we want to also talk a little more about another data point, I'd like to highlight Grace Middle School. And we received notification from the New Jersey Department of Education. Again, when you get all these emails from the DOE, you're not sure what they're about. These were good. That the Algebra 1 and geometry scores on the NJSLA were some of the best in the state. The New Jersey Department of Education has reached out to learn more about the work the students are doing in the class and how the teachers are instructing the students. And we're very happy to have the DOE in to talk with our students and staff. Finally, my last item here. I want to end on another positive note. For 18 months, Mr. Kevin Bobitich and I, he's the supervisor of testing and assessment, and I've been working with the Ewing and Trenton schools, Princeton Area Community Foundation, and Mercer Street Friends, with the assistance of the College of New Jersey, in an effort to apply for and start community schools in each of our 3 school districts. A community school is a public school that serves as a neighborhood hub by partnering with community resources and organizations to provide services and programming to students, families, and the community. There are 4 pillars to a community school: integrated student supports, expanded and enriched learning time, active family and community engagement, and collaborative learning. These 4 areas are focused on improving student learning and well-being. Tonight's agenda has 2 motions. The first is to create the Trenton, Hamilton, Ewing, Mercer Coalition of Community Schools between the 3 districts and the other organizations that I mentioned. And the second is to approve the first of 2 MOAs for a community school in Hamilton. The first community school will be at Klockner Elementary School. We're excited for this opportunity. But over the last 6 months, Kevin and I have advocated for 2 schools in our district to be funded, and we've always had 2 schools in mind. Last night, I was notified of the opportunity to expand and include our second school thanks to funding that has become available. And that second school will be Greenwood Elementary School. Both principals, their staff, their students, and their families are wonderful school communities who we think will be shining examples of the community schools that other schools will want to emulate. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Dr. Rocco. I'm going to open it up to Board of Education members. I'll start with Dr. McSheen.
You can come back to me, please.
I
Thank
will.
you.
Ms. Soto?
No questions. Do you want updates?
Any comments or any thing that you would like?
Announcements? So I do have some announcements. I am pleased to report that our 3 Hamilton high schools performed last weekend at Robbinsville High School in their marching band competition. And there were 7 bands competing in their class. All 3 schools are in class 2, and HTSD swept first, second, and third place in that class. Hamilton High West was in first place with an overall score of 87.2. They also won Best Visual, Best Music, and Best Overall Effect. Steiner High School had an overall score of 85.6. Their color guard tied for the highest guard score of the night across all classes. And Steiner also won Best Percussion in their class. And Nottingham High School finished in third place with a score of 83.6. All 3 bands will compete this Saturday, November 1st, in the state competition against 19 other bands in their class at Mount Olive High School in Mount Olive, New Jersey. So if anybody would like to go cheer on our 3 bands, it's going to be a great event. I did also want to do an announcement for our families. New Jersey SNAP did release some information regarding benefits. And New Jersey was notified by the federal government that if the shutdown continues, November SNAP benefits will not be available November 1st. Families that do have SNAP benefits, and if they are loaded to their Family First EBT cards prior to October 31st, they will be available for use in November. But they encourage individuals before going to the grocery store on November 1st to check their accounts at njfamilyfirst.com. If there are SNAP benefits in their account, they will be available for use in November. They do encourage individuals to continue submitting applications and recertifications. They will be processed, and that will ensure that they do receive their benefits when federal SNAP funding becomes available again. I have seen in the community just a great sense of community with families looking out for each other. So I just want to encourage individuals who have children in the district to contact your guidance counselors if you require assistance. Our counselors can help connect students with free and reduced lunch programs. And we know, hunger can significantly impact learning. So we want to make sure our students are fed. In addition, our counselors will have access to other resources and information on external food assistance services and programs. And that's all I have.
Dr. Ferrara?
Thank you. The Grace Gladiator Cafe has opened for the school year. And this award-winning program is run by the teachers, the students, and the staff from Grace's Life Skills program. They welcomed 115 customers during the grand opening. It was wall-to-wall fun. Lots of people were there from the district. Dr. Rocco, I was asked to ask you if they could knock out the wall because they want the art room next door so they have more space. Also at Grace is a new program called RISE. It's being conducted in conjunction with the Mercer County Prosecutor's Office. Detective Marlon Webb and his trusty therapy dog, Sunny, who is the calmest dog I've ever met, now work with students once a week in a dedicated space, which used to be called detention. Instead of detention, the RISE room is a place for students to reflect and retool their behavior. RISE stands for Restorative In-School Experience. And last week I met 3 of the students and Sunny, who were all working with Detective Webb. I, for one, have been consistently supportive of restorative practices in the district. They are designed to reduce what is often called the school to prison pipeline. And essentially, the argument is if we treat students in school as if they were offenders, they absorb that persona. So I feel that the district is incredibly lucky to have this program with Detective Webb and Sunny. Dr. Rocco, do you know, is it beyond Grace? I know one year we had 2 middle schools. I will check, but it's a really important program, and Detective Webb is just a really great role model. Diana Vassal, principal at Kistart Elementary School, held the school's first Title I meeting of the year. Kistart teachers and PTA members were in attendance. There's a renewed energy in the school. Ms. Vassal outlined the school's achievement and attendance goals for the year. The PTA has created a calendar of fun events. The meeting was held in the school's library, which has started its makeover with a beautiful, bright new rug and some seating. And if you're not on Facebook, I want you all to know that the elementary school libraries are now getting their makeover the way the middle schools and high schools did. Dr. Rocco has made it a point to have all the district libraries upgraded, and this year the focus was on the elementary schools. And for the first time since I've been in Hamilton, every elementary school is going to have a dedicated space and a teacher in the K-5 libraries. There'll be no more sharing of librarians. And those elementary school places are called ACE, which stands for Academic Center for Enrichment. In addition to the traditional library services, those centers will host enrichment sessions in STEAM and STEM and academic interventions. And final, dovetailing off of what Dr. Rocco said about dual enrollment at the high school, the deadline to pay tuition and get all your dual enrollment paperwork done is November 14th. If you have any questions, you should check with your high school guidance counselor. That's all I have.
Thank you, Dr. Farrar. Ms. Stanton.
Yes, thank you. Good evening, everyone. I have a few things to go over this evening. First of all, I hope that all of our elementary school students and their families enjoyed the trunk or treats at all of our schools. They've really been fantastic events for the family and communities throughout Hamilton. Next, we also in our elementary schools had book fairs recently, which gave me the opportunity to go and see Sayen's library, and the new libraries throughout the high schools and middle schools have been fantastic. So it's really great to see the end of this project and how fantastic it's making everything for the elementary school for all of our reading learners. Next, we have a crossing guard here in Hamilton named Patrice Cheddar, who just about a month ago won an Emmy for a documentary that she was a part of that details her life as a disabled adult here in the community. And lastly, we also have a student from Hamilton High School West, Addison Bozarth, that I wanted to thank and brag about a little bit. She is hopefully a future Hamilton Township educator. Right now, she's doing a project called Different by Design, where she brought a box of books over to Robinson to teach children about inclusion and different abilities that our friends and peers have. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Stanton. Ms. Harvey?
Thank you. Just a few things. I
recently attended the Langtree Trunk or Treat. It was a great event. It was one of their largest yet. And then the next morning, the 5th grade class got together to clean up the Langtree yard as a community service to clean up the mess that they made the night before. But it was great that to see so many Langtree teachers and parents come out both for trunk or treat and the cleanup. I also attended with Dr. Ferrara the Gladiator Cafe opening this year, and I just wanted to mention one thing that she didn't, is that there was a student who unfortunately passed away last year, who the cafe actually dedicated a cupcake to him because he was a chocoholic. So it was nice to see not only the cafe up and running again, run by the students, but also that they honored their classmate. I just wanted to also give one warning that there's a lot of commotion in the mornings and afternoons for drop off and pickup at all of our schools, and the police are getting involved. So unfortunately, because people aren't listening to the fact that there are no U-turns or double parking, that the police will be out and ticketing. So I want to offer that warning, and just a reminder that please drive safely, keep in mind the speed limits, and keep in mind that students are crossing and might need extra time crossing. Thank you.
Ms. Williams?
Yes, I have a few things that I wanted to talk about. And just as reminders. So I wanted to talk about Donors Choose. I don't know if everybody listening at home and in our audience is aware that we have Donors Choose. It literally is something for all of our schools, all 24 of them in the district. Right now, basically what it is since the start of Donors Choose, we've actually raised for our schools over $155,000 has been raised for 321 projects have been funded in just our district alone. There's been 1,294 donors, 24 schools have been funded. So it has gone to each of our schools at some point to cover those projects. And the thing that I wanted to stress too is that 21% of funding is from out of state. So what I like about Donors Choose and why I want to keep reminding everybody about it is because it's literally on the Hamilton Township School District website, and you can go to see each of the projects is a project that a teacher in our district has for the students that they serve and that they're trying to help. So right now, we currently have 2 active Donors Choose on our website. They're both for the libraries. One is at Nottingham with Miss Cordella. The other one is at Greenwood. So for the one that we have for Nottingham, for Miss Cordella, she's looking for manga books. And so we still need to raise $780 for that project to be funded by January. And then we have another one over at Greenwood where they're trying to revitalize the library from tired to inspired. I love it. But they're still looking for $711 to fund that project. So I just want to bring awareness to Donors Choose, because literally anywhere in the world, aunts, uncles, grandparents across the country can donate to these projects, and they go directly to our classrooms for the teachers that need them for our students. So that's the first thing I wanted to talk about and raise attention for. The second thing was I wanted to welcome our student representatives. So thank you guys for being here. I just want to say how proud we all are that you guys are representing your schools, but also being involved in your community and working towards something positive, right, for everybody. So thank you for being here and welcome to the table. And then also I wanted to thank the Crockett Orchestra, because how amazing they were. I mean, I remember when I was in elementary school and I tried to play the saxophone, I think I tried for maybe a month. It just wasn't, it just takes a special mind to be able to focus and learn the notes and to be dedicated and committed to learning something like that. It's not for everybody, but I tried. But how beautiful they sounded all together, and they're in 8th grade. So it was beautiful. So I want to thank them for performing for all of us tonight. And I also wanted to, I wanted to also remind everybody about Power School. If everybody's paying attention to Power School for your children, I want to reiterate, as I tried to do at every meeting, but it's a great resource, Power School, not to just see your child's grades, but you'll go in there and you'll be able to see your child's emails for their teachers. I encourage everybody, because education is a partnership.
I encourage everybody to please, at some point during the school year, go in there, send a quick note to each of their teachers, let them know that you're there. I know that we all work. We're all, we have so many different things going on in life. But if you just send a note, even in the middle of the night, if you're just thinking of it, just send a quick note just so that they know that, hey, you know what, you're involved, you're there, and they can reach out to you, that it's a partnership, right? So if you do that, sometimes I've learned as a parent with 5 kids that went through the district, as much as busy as we all are, if you just take that moment once in a while, if you can just reach out, it just shows, it shows great commitment for you, for your child, and that partnership. If you can do it, I encourage it. The other thing I wanted to say is to kind of piggyback off of what Denise, what you were saying about the SNAP food. I know that there's a lot of resources right now that I've been coming across for anybody in the district. If you guys are in need or help, right? Because we all need help once in a while. There's going to be so many resources. I'm going to post them on social media. I'm going to do, the moms groups or, my own page and whatever. But I just want you guys to know that there's so many opportunities for help that are out there that we all just need to kind of work together, because there's so many families, and there's many of them obviously that aren't here tonight that are going to be in need, but it's going to be up to all of us to try to help them and to try to just encourage people that there are things out there that we can help one another. So I wanted to also mention that. And I also wanted to thank Dr. Rocco and the administration for all the work that they've been putting into the community school and, the grant and the fundings that we're all looking to do to try to better our schools and our students. So, and especially the great report that you just gave on the test scores too, and how well we're improving, right? We're not perfect. We're not going to ever be perfect, but the improvement that we're showing from where we were to where we're going, that's what's most important. And that's the biggest marker that we can aim for, right? So thank you, and to the administration for all of your hard work. And I think that concludes my comments. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Williams. Ms. Byrne?
Yes, thank you. Good evening, everyone. As the liaison to the VOTEC schools, I attended the General Advisory Council meeting today. It was held at the Assunpink Center as opposed to the SIPEC Center, which is where it's usually held. And the reason why is because they are building a new 60-seat restaurant at the SIPEC Center, which will be open to the public. So that's exciting news. The business partner that was recognized today of the year was called Hogan Security, and they received their award at the luncheon. There was recently a fundraiser that was held at the Haldeman Ford in Hamilton, which raised over $4,000. It was called Drive for Your School. I remember doing that when my son was at Steiner, and they're still doing that. I think over the years, they said they've raised like over $100,000 for the schools, which they prefer to do as opposed to selling candy or candles or something. You just have to go to Haldeman and actually test drive a car. And for each person that does that, the school receives $30. So it's a good deal. So they're going to be having another one in the spring. They just don't know when. But the biggest takeaway is getting the word out that the career technical education that they're giving our students and that they're experiencing at our VOTEC schools gives our students an affordable learning experience with an apprenticeship that leads to high earning potential, job security, and job satisfaction. They want our students to have a career, not just a job. And some of our existing shared time programs, and this is just a small example, there's many on the website. We have carpentry, diesel technology, electrical, computer game programming, cosmetology, culinary arts, just to name a few. The new Academy Pathways will be offering a veterinary animal health in their Health Science Academy. And in the STEM Academy, there's going to be a new JROTC pathway program, as well as a new AI robotics elective, which will overlap with other STEM academics. And of course, there was a delicious barbecue that was prepared by Chef Silverman and the junior class. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Byrne. Mr. Kanka?
Good evening. Just a quick update or note. What Mrs. Harvey said about the traffic safety and keeping an eye out for our children. during the going to school and the dismissal portion. I have the pleasure of being usually at two schools every single day, watching what goes on. And I have to give a shout out to our security staff at Steinert High School. As we all know, there's many, many children that take the bus, but there's also quite a few that actually walk home. And there's a lot of cars in that back parking lot that are trying to get out of that one lane driveway. And the guys over at the security guys are really, really working hard to get those cars out as quickly as possible. We had a little help from the Hamilton Township Police Department. They knocked off the parking along Yarville Hamilton Square Road now. It makes it much easier to get out. But it was real nice to see those guys out there getting the buses out and getting the people out of that lot. I mean, I've been before they really got involved. I would sit in that lot for 20, 25 minutes before I got out. It was so congested, but they're working really hard to help us out and get these people out of there. And just a nice shout out to those guys. And just be careful around Saying School. It's a mass thoroughfare there, and we got little kids trying to cross the street over there. And just be aware of what's going on. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Kenka. Dr. McSheen, I am going to come back to you. Do you have any announcements or
Thank you.
comments?
I do. And just to piggyback off of Mr. Kenka's comments, I was thinking this morning of how the security guard at my school that I dropped my children off has been wonderful. How I've seen him jump in, help cars back out when they're trying to get out, just to help speed along the car line, help children and their parents cross it's not super busy and people are usually pretty careful, but just being sure that everyone's extra safe. I've really appreciated that. So just wanted to highlight that. And thanks, Mr. Kenka, for bringing that up. So on my list, I was able to attend the McGallard PTA trunk or treat on October 17th. It was super fun. I'm kind of newish to this trunk or treat thing. Wasn't around when I was a kid, so jumping in has been amazing. They had an amazing DJ who knew the crowd and knew that K-pop Demon Hunters is the way to go, and just played the main song from that about 3 or 4 times, and the kids didn't stop dancing. So especially my kids, who are huge fans. So that was really great. And it also showed off the creativity to students. And I think that's something that kind of gets missed sometimes, of getting exposed to how creative people can be with different art projects or anything. It just gets them excited to do something. And that was really cool. I was also privileged enough to attend the NJSBA workshop, as did many of my colleagues here. And I hope everyone else got a lot out of the workshop. I know I got some stuff. I know it's been brought up before, and maybe it was brought up again tonight, but I'll say that the Unsung Superheroes and Education Awards session was particularly fiery and awesome. It was a great way that was my first session of the workshop that I was able to attend. And hearing that Mr. Leo Foy, our crossing guard of the year, who wasn't able to attend in person, but I think he was there in spirit, and everyone was great to hear the rounds of applause and the energy that he got. And then also seeing just the other people around the state who were recognized, people who've been working in their districts for 30, 40, I think I heard a 50-year, but maybe I'm wrong, tenure. And it was inspiring. I don't know how else to put it. People who might still be working in their district, like Mr. Foy, right? A few other sessions I was able to attend were the Ethics and School Board Trenches, which was a review of the School Ethics Act in action, making sure that everyone's kind of going by the book and kind of bring up some scenarios to talk about, which was helpful. Board governance from reactive to strategic, which was a great example. They gave us a great example of a board governance calendar. So maybe that's something we talk about at some point, of throughout the year, maybe different points that we have certain discussions, just to make sure that we're having them, and to make sure that the public's able to hear that as well. as well as a new board member agenda. So kind of like a handbook when you are able to join to see what kind of trainings. And I know Dr. Scotto or not Dr. Scotto, maybe one day. Dr. Rocco and also our board president usually sits down with a new board member and walks through important things, but I think it's also good to have that memorialized. So that was a wonderful idea from, I think that was the Clinton School District that gave that. And there was also a session on the school board election law, which is helpful to hear, especially as a board member, as there's particular things you have to keep in mind. I also want to point out that Hamilton, particularly Dr. Rocco, was part of the Future is Now Leading Schools Through Technological Disruption panel. I hear it went really well. I unfortunately couldn't attend, but I'll have to grill him later. And also behind the curtain, role of the tech director was also presented by Kara Floodman. And I heard that went well too, and I couldn't attend, but I did talk to her after, and I'm glad to hear what we did. So I think it was a great example of how our district is leading in technology, and people do look to us. I actually was stopped when I said I was from Hamilton and said, "Oh, you're on the Google technology thing." I was like, "Yeah, that's awesome to hear." So word's getting around, and I really do appreciate that. And I think that's it for now. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. McSheen. So as you can hear, it's been a very busy month for Hamilton. Some really great things going on. I do want to take a moment to recognize. So we have a principal here in Hamilton, Miss Jennifer Marinello. And just a little while ago, she was recognized at the On Possible Gala with the YMCA, and she received the Community Enrichment Award. And I want to congratulate her and recognize her for all of the things that she does. And, we look forward to the continued success. So again, I just wanted to take a moment to recognize her.
Principal of Layler.
Principal of Layler, yes. And as Dr. McSheen had mentioned, also as everyone knows him, Mr. Leo also did receive the Unsung Hero Award at New Jersey School Boards Association. So again, to recognize him and anyone that goes to Morgan Elementary School, you're going to know exactly who he is because he is a staple there. So yes, and he's wonderful. So at this time, I'm going to move on to our student representatives. And I am going to start with Diamond Tran, and you are here from Hamilton West. Ms. Williams, can you give her? Yes, thank you.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. My name is Diamond Tran, and yes, I am from Hamilton West. So a couple updates. Hamilton West is proud to celebrate several outstanding accomplishments this season. First thing is QuestBridge finalists. So congratulations to our two outstanding Hornets who were named QuestBridge finalists this year, Carlos Salguero and Diamond Tran. Their hard work and dedication exemplify the academic excellence we strive for at Hamilton West. Second, I want to commemorate the Hope Club, Hispanic organization promoting education, who continues to strengthen the connection between home and school. By fostering collaboration among families, students, and staff, we are building a more engaged and school community. They just hosted their Hope Night, which was an educational and resourceful event for students and their families to join all together. Second, you can join them for the Light the Night event with LLS for an awareness and funding event that's at Mercer County Community Park on Saturday, November 1st at 4:30. LLS is an awareness and funding for cancer research, treatment, and patient financial assistance. Third, the SGA, Student Government Association, hosted their haunted house. It was a huge success. This event not only showcased our students' creativity, but also helped build relationships with our ascending elementary schools. Many student clubs and activities came together to make this a true celebration of Hornet pride and school culture. The fourth thing will be the student-faculty basketball game. It will be joined by teachers and students in an engaged, athletic, and building teamwork skills activity. Tickets are $2 after school and will be held Wednesday on November 19th. And then lastly, I want to piggyback off of Denise. We are thrilled to announce that our Hornet Band is currently ranked #1 in the state, I believe. They proudly represent Hamilton West as the final band to perform at this Friday's state competition in Mount Olive, New Jersey. We wish them the best of luck as they close out the show. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And we'll be moving on to Hamilton East, Steiner, Edris Soto.
Hello, my name is Edros Soto, and I'm a school board representative for Steiner. I did want to start with thanking everyone on the board for giving me all the hospitality in the world you could ever ask for. I do want to start with talking about board members mentioned earlier that the security officers have been doing a really good job of getting kids out of the school, and I wanted to talk about, as a Steiner student, I feel like they've also done a really good job. They feel almost like family to us now. I want to then go to our clubs and organizations. Most of our clubs have had their own interest meetings and have started up yet, with the Key Club and Teens on Fire cleaning up our Veterans Memorial in front of our school, and the National Honor Society doing their introduction ceremony. I also want to commend our football, soccer, and field hockey teams for all making state CVC tournaments and also hosting all their senior days, which have gone well. Also, I do want to talk about the transition into block scheduling. It seems that Steiner has been going through a positive change with block scheduling, which has come with some stress from some teachers and students overall, but the transitioning has gone well. We're also celebrating the Red Ribbon Week, which our motto is "Life is a puzzle, solve it drug-free," which we are pushing celebration of trying to prevent drug abuse. And that is all.
Thank you very much. And now we will go to Nottingham High School, Daniela Ortega.
Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. My name is Daniela Ortega, and I am senior at Nottingham High School. I'm so glad to be up here representing our school. As we reflect over the month of October, it's been great to see how much our school community has accomplished. So we started the month off with Spirit Week. We celebrated our school pride and an energetic pep rally, which brought everyone together, including our teachers and our students. Our homecoming festivities, such as the football game and the dance, were also a huge success. Our fall sports have been working hard, and their dedication and commitment has not gone unnoticed. The marching band has also been working very hard, participating in several competitions, showcasing their talents. Our National Honor Society and Key Club hosted a wonderful trick-or-treat event for our local elementary school students, and it was a big hit for everyone. As many of you know, we are now implementing block scheduling. All students and staff have adapted to the changes of the schedule. And as a student myself, I truly believe that this was a beneficial change for everyone. October was a packed month filled with school spirit and growth of the community. We have a great couple of months ahead of us, and I look forward to a great year. Thank you.
Thank you. Round of applause for our student reps, please. So I look forward to the continued reports from our student representatives. It's always wonderful to hear from our students what is going on in the schools. So again, we welcome you guys to the table. You are more than welcome to stay, but you are also more than welcome to go if you have homework or anything like that, that you have other commitments. But again, you're always welcome to stay, but we're going to leave it up to you guys to make that choice, okay? Okay. You're welcome. So now I'm going to move on to our board committee reports. And I am going to start with Ms. Soto for personnel.
Thank you. So the Personnel Committee met on October 15th at 6:30 p.m. I, along with Dr. McSheen, met with Dr. Rocco and members of his senior staff. And Dr. Copeland presented to the committee on the topic of employee burnout, defined by the National Education Association as a condition in which educators have exhausted the personal and professional resources necessary to do their job. So Dr. Copeland and his team are always keeping a pulse on this internally with our district. He reported that, key findings are that teachers are twice as likely to experience stress as other working adults. Compared to other professions, U.S. teachers are 40% more likely to experience anxiety than healthcare workers and 30% more likely than workers in other fields. K through 12 teachers are the most burnt out profession in the U.S., followed by healthcare. 90% of teachers say burnout is a serious problem, and over half plan to leave teaching earlier than intended. And 43% of educator positions remain unfilled nationally. So best practices to combat some of these things that don't sound so great. 71% of teachers reported they value a collaborative teacher-led planning meetings. 43% find peer classroom observation most beneficial for growth, and 80% of teachers with professional development opportunities report higher job satisfaction. So again, this is always something that Dr. Copeland and his team just try to keep a pulse on to make sure our teachers are satisfied. They do this in a number of ways. So HTSD's response to this is through various initiatives. They do state interviews with our teachers 3 times a year. They're conducted digitally or in person to identify why staff remain and how to enhance their experience. Some common reasons that they have shared for staying is that we offer a supportive culture and relationships, a commitment to our students and mission, professional growth opportunities, and convenient location for many of our teachers that offers a lot of work-life balance. We also offer employee support and recognition. So our employees have access to an employee assistance programs and counseling, both virtual and in person, and numerous recognition activities take place throughout the year, such as the HTSD Difference Makers. And new this year, Dr. Rocco also sends out a weekly superintendent message to all staff. HTSD's approach to addressing burnout aligns with Maslow's hierarchy of needs, emphasizing both emotional well-being and professional fulfillment. And so again, the presentation was really just to identify, as we're always looking in the personnel committee as to what, attracts individuals to work for our district and how we can keep them here, constantly just reviewing these approaches and making sure that our teams are satisfied and what we can do more to encourage retention and happiness within the field. In addition to that, of course, we always look at our vacancies, and I'm pleased to report that we're pretty much fully staffed at the majority of our schools. Of course, we do have a number of appointments on tonight's agenda under item 2. One also includes a new supervisor for our ELA and social studies programs. And the recommendation is for Victoria Martin, who will begin in that position in January. Our current supervisor, Francesca Maraglia, will be retiring. So again, that's item number 2 on the agenda. We also discussed the need for an additional girls wrestling coach at Nottingham. The girls wrestling program district-wide has just grown over the years, and this additional coach will ensure that Nottingham is at the same level as our other 2 high schools, which both currently West and East do have a full-time head wrestling coach for boys and one for girls, and then also one assistant split between boys and girls. Nottingham currently has one full-time coach for boys, but 2 assistants split between the boys and the girls. But now the anticipated growth for this 2025-26 school year is projected to put them at the same level as East and West. So the recommendation is on the agenda under item number 4 for that full-time girls wrestling coach. You'll also see on tonight's agenda an update to the trades employees holiday schedule. That's item number 17 on the agenda. They received 14 district holidays as well as 4 floating holidays for 18 total. And you'll also see on the agenda item number 19, the revised student calendar, which includes half days for high school only for their midterm exams. Personnel will meet next on November 12th at 4:15 p.m. And I will now turn it over to Dr. McSheen, who will provide the DCR report.
Thank you, Ms. Soto. Dr. McSheen for DCR.
Thank you. So I have a report here produced by our chair for DCR, which is the District Community Relations Committee. Our chair is Cassandra Hodges-Jones. So thank you, Ms. Hodges-Jones, for this. Our first meeting of the year was held on Tuesday, October 14th, from 5 to 6 at the Reynolds Middle School Media Center. We reviewed who we are and what we do. We also reviewed our work from last year and the recommendations submitted at the end of the year. We then reviewed the topics and questions that were submitted during the annual May Mixer. Then we broke into the subcommittee groups briefly to brainstorm and discuss possible topics and direction for the school year. And we would love to see if we can set up an open forum or town hall type meeting for our March in-person meeting with questions submitted in advance to ensure that correct personnel are available to answer them well. Now, this is kind of fun, and actually, Dr. Fryer brought this up before, brought up this program during her announcements. At our next meeting, we will have a presentation by Principal Dwayne Walker and Detective Webb regarding their initiative for RISE, which is their program on restorative practices and basically the replacement for detention. And I think that's a really interesting thing to learn about and to see where we can go with maybe other schools. And I know it was a discussion of potentially having it at other middle schools. And so we're great to have a presentation on that and have a discussion as well. If you have a topic that you would like a representative to be present on, please email dcr@htsdnj.org and we can see what we can do. We're actively seeking volunteers, and if you're interested in joining a subcommittee or becoming more involved, please contact our email address. You can also find more information and meeting forms on our webpage, which is if you just go to the main htsdnj.org, click on menu, then community, then District Community Relations Committee, you'll find it. Or you can, I think I usually get it if I just Google HTSDNJ and DCR, and usually it comes up pretty easily there. We are dedicated to the One Hamilton vision and are always looking for new volunteers to help us build a unified and continuously improving district. This committee welcomes participation from all HTSD stakeholders. Join us as we partner together, building minds, building futures for our HTSD community. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. McSheen. Do I have any questions in regards to the DCR or the Personnel Committee report? Seeing that I have no questions, I will move on to Curriculum and Instruction Committee report.
We have a very full agenda from CNI this evening. Let me give you a couple of updates that we discussed in committee, and then I will go through the motions. We received a block scheduling update. The feedback has been very positive, as you heard from our representatives tonight. Discipline issues are down. I was told by a Steinert parent that the kinks have been worked out with the lunch location in the gym. Students are adjusting. I think that many of them are learning that they need to learn how to manage their time, juggle their assignments. And block scheduling provides all those opportunities. And they're going to have to learn how to study for midterms and finals and papers. And so they will be much better prepared for the college course load now that we've done this. There will be more professional development for the 9-12 teachers surrounding block scheduling, how to run those classes, because it is a time management thing for the teachers too. It's as I've said before, it's a really fun 80 minutes, but it's also new coursework, it's new lesson plans, it's new, okay, how do I want to do this? Dr. Disler has refined the procedures for explaining what happens when a high school student decides to drop or add a course. We had learned that the process was different in each of the 3 high schools. So, and the language was rather confusing. So now the procedure will be consistent across the 3 high schools. Information will be found in the program of studies where it's always been, and it will now also be in the high school student handbook. And of course, the students can talk with their guidance counselors and they know the routine. Dr. Disler is also working on a submission to the New Jersey School Climate Improvement Coaching and Consultative Support Cohort. It's a 3-year program run through the New Jersey Department of Education. If we land the grant, the initiative will help schools strengthen climate and culture using a consistent data-driven process supported by Rutgers, and she'll have that application in by November 11th. Motion 1 is our usual out-of-district placements. Motion 2 requests that we approve potential field trip destinations. I would like to point out that one of those destinations is the Career Connections Carpenters Training Facility in Edison, New Jersey. Students in the materials processing program will be touring that facility from all students from all 3 high schools. And as a side, those students in the district who take materials processing program have the opportunity for a dual enrollment option for college credit through Thomas Edison State University. It's one of our many dual enrollment programs that we have in the district. Motion 3 contains 2 potential overnight student trips, one out of Steinert for gallery, and we'll probably be seeing requests from Nottingham and West gallery teachers very soon. The second trip involves Steinert's Honor Choir, which will have the opportunity to rehearse and perform at Lincoln Center in New York City. And when I read that, that is a pretty exciting thing to do. They will be doing that with the National Concert Chorus. They will be working with a choral arranger and conductor, Roger Emerson. He does choral arrangements for school choirs and choruses. If you go on his site, you can hear his arrangements. They are beautiful. So that also is at motion 3. Motion 4, we have first reading of the curriculum guides policy. It's policy 2230. There were not a lot of changes. It was merely changing the title from course guides to curriculum guides and correcting the title of the administrator who would oversee these guides. There's a corresponding regulation, which we do not have to approve, but it has also been amended to align with the policy. Motion 5 is a second reading of the policies that we passed last month. It's the notice of board meetings, duties of public school accountant, legal services, and professional services. They're all policies dealing with the functions of the board. Motion 6 is the grants. Dr. Rocco talked about the Special Olympics one. Actually, you talked about all 3 of them, didn't you? There we go. Motion 7 is the district had to adopt a new administrative evaluation rubric because the one that we were using, there was a conflict between the platform that supported it and somebody else that was providing the information. And in any event, we're going to a new rubric. It's called the Strong Evaluation Framework. It evaluates instructional leadership skills, which tie into curriculum and instruction, which is why it's on the curriculum instruction agenda. The Administrators Union has okayed this. Dr. Copeland and Dr. Rocco have both used this rubric, so it's not really, it's new to the district, but it's not new to our administrators. Motion 8 is a service agreement with the Night School of Princeton for Kuzer School. And the Night School runs chess programs for students. So Kuzer will be using its Title I funds to bring that program to their students. Motion 9 is the Embry Education, which used to be Campfire for those of you who've been on the board for a while. Embry will serve 8 first grade classrooms this year. So they'll be presenting in 2 first grade classes at 4 schools, Yardville Heights, Greenwood, Layler, and University Heights. Last year, they did Alexander, Sayin, and McGalliard. And as funding comes in, they will be doing more. Motion 10 is asks us to accept an agreement with Princeton University for what is called the high school program at Princeton. It was created over 20 years ago. We have had some students go to this program. It's for students who have earned the highest possible grades for their academic work while exhausting all high school courses in certain eligible subjects. So for example, if you started algebra in 8th grade, and then you're now like a junior in high school and you've gone through every single one of our math courses and you've gotten really incredible grades, I think it's a 3.5 you have to have, and A minuses in all the courses, you can apply to take the next level math class, for example, at Princeton University. It does not count toward the graduation diploma from here, but you do get 3 credits from Princeton University if you complete the course and pass it. It's a bit complicated in that students who are selected have to provide their own transportation, and they would be at Princeton for 2 days a week for 90 minutes. And it does kind of complicate putting together a schedule here in the district, but it is available, and the guidance counselors are looking at who potentially can apply for the program. So those students will be notified, because I think that deadline is also coming up in November. I think it's November 6th. We have gift donations, which I will let Ms. Stanton go through after. Motion 13 is another agreement, this one with the YMCA. As many of you know, the YMCA has been providing phys ed and playground games at our schools. They will continue to do that at Greenwood and Kuzer. Motion 14 is our professional development events. Some are required travel, some are virtual. And then motion 15 and 16 are the motions that are attached to the program, the community schools program that Dr. Rocco mentioned in his report. So motion 15 is actually the coalition charter that establishes what this is all about. The charter stems from an initiative started by the Mercer Street Friends, which is a 67-year-old Quaker organization. And they have been running a community school program in 3 Trenton schools since 2015, and they're now ready to expand with a grant from the Princeton Area Community Foundation. So the charter we are voting on contains 7 articles which establish the coalition and outline the roles and responsibilities with the organization. And motion 16 is the memorandum of understanding that the district will have with Mercer Street Friends in terms of what we need to provide for them in terms of space and, any kind of paper printing, things like that. Is that, yeah, okay. Do you want to add anything to that, Dr. Rocco?
We're just excited to get started, and next month we'll have the other MOA on. Just didn't have.
Okay. Right. For those of you who've come in late, we will be having 2 community schools. The first one will be Klockner, and then we are going to add Greenwood. That's all I have. And I'll let you go through the.
Sure. Thank you. So we've had a lot of great donations this month. Both Bloombox and the ShopRite of Marketplace have donated seasonal pumpkins to decorate the school to Crockett Middle School in the value of $250 and $200 respectively. We have a donation from the National Association of Rocketry for Robinson, including the supplies and materials for Rocket Day at a value of $500. We have from the Young Audiences Art Lab for Greenwood Elementary School, the Young Audiences programming called Math is Beautiful at a value of $10,425. Walmart Hamilton Marketplace location gave to Crockett gardening and planting tools and supplies at a value of $500. Donors Choose gave Grace Middle School a new 32-inch drum at a value of $6,414. The Burlington stores gave Crockett Middle School benches and perennials for their outdoor classrooms at a value of $700. And again, our West student, Addison Bozarth, had donated over to Robinson Elementary School, where she was an alumni, the Different by Design box with her books to encourage inclusion and information on the different abilities of students. And that was at the value of $129. So thank you again for all of our donations this month.
Just so you know, the Crockett, I think many of you remember we voted, or we had a conversation, I guess, about the Crockett courtyard where the ducks were always, and we had this pond. When we had an administrator who took care of the pond, it was not a problem. But after he died, there was no one to take care of the pond. We had a lot of goose poop and duck poop, and it was going in through the filters. So the decision was made to take the pond away. And so now with all these donations, what they're doing is recreating that courtyard space. And I don't know, I can't speak for Crockett. I know that some of the high schools are now using their courtyard spaces as places to eat, when the weather's nice. So that's one of the reasons that we see those donations. And the timpani drum was a kettle drum and Grice is now going to try to build their kettle drums back into a beautiful kettle drum set, one kettle drum at a time. They tried to do it all at once, but it's very costly. So they're very excited to have at least the biggest kettle drum now. And thank you for your donations from the community.
Thank you. So do I have any questions in regards to curriculum and instruction committee report? Okay, seeing none, I'm going to move to finance and operation committee report. Mr. Kenka.
Thank you. The Finance and Operation Committee met on the 24th, which was this past Friday at 9 a.m. I want to thank the committee members who attended, plus the senior staff that was in attendance. The very first thing on the agenda was Dr. Rocco under communications. He shared a few memos to the board and told us that the October community and staff updates and the second memo to the board will be posted. Then we moved into the capital project update for the 2025 year. A lot of this is a lot of repetitious reporting, but it's still ongoing. The door sensor installation update from Mr. Boyle reported that work continues, and the anticipation completed date is sometime in late November, early December. Just want to remind the people that this is an initiative that dovetails on top of the referendum that was passed on all the money we spent on security. These are upgrades with software, additional security to doors, so that every door in the district is alarmed, and when it is open and it is sent an alarm, an update is sent to the appropriate people in that building. This, along with the grant that Dr. Rocco talked about for the safety and security of our students, is just it's just an initiative that this district and this administration has taken to make sure that our kids are as safe as possible. And we're going to keep working time after time, year after year to build on these projects. So we're very excited about the what's going on. And I want to thank the board and the administration for allowing the funding for this particular project. And we're looking for a positive outcome for this. Then we moved on to the North Auditorium. The project still remains on schedule for a late December or mid to late December completion date. I rode by the project, and there's a lot of work going on over there. And we talked about it in the meeting that the facility is going to be state of the art in that North Auditorium with technology, lighting, and all the ambiance that goes along with it. So we're excited to see that completion come to date. The Layler HVAC project is a 2-summer project. The first summer work is nearly completed. There was some glass installation, some tinting that remains on some of the glass in there, but we saw pictures of some of the work, and it really, really looks great over there. And the planning for the second portion of that, the job is underway, which I'll repeat again, that we're in the hands of PSE&G. We're waiting for a transformer to be delivered so the remainder of that project can be completed. Then we talked about the new boilers at Yardville Heights. The installation is complete. Both boilers are up and running. We do have a replacement part that was defective on one of the boiler pumps. There's like I said, pumps. There's a pump. There's a lead pump, and there's a lag pump. And one pump is down, so we're running with the one, and hopefully the part for that pump will be come as soon as possible, and then we can get both of those pumps on a lead lag situation, so we get equal runtime out of both. Then we moved into facilities update from John Miranda. There was a new project emergencies request for some fencing at Morgan and Kistart. There was everybody met, the superintendent and the business administrator, along with the facilities and maintenance staff, met on site to review the options at both facilities, and it's good to discuss the priorities for the schools. And the next move is to start obtaining quotes from an outside contractor to discuss the priority of the work. Then Mr. Miranda gave us an update on the work system update, the work order system update, which we all know is from back in the summer. We went to a paperless system, and like I said, it was a learning curve through the summer, but since July the 2nd of 2025, there have been a number of work orders. 22,096 work orders were entered, and as of this meeting, 88% of those work orders were opened and closed out. September was a busy month. There was approximately 1,100 entered into the system after the opening of school, which is not a surprise. We all the buildings, we had to turn the ignition on and get them all started again. But the biggest the trades with the biggest amount of orders was carpentry and plumbing, and the average time from open to close on those work orders is 18 days to completion. So as we go through the year, get caught up a little bit, hopefully we'll be able to get that turnaround day a little shorter, depending on if parts are needed or not. Then we moved into the pool conversions for phase one. It's again, it's a Capital One a capital reserve withdrawal for phase one. The motion is added on tonight's agenda. It is motion 12 on tonight's agenda. And that's the funding for phase one, so we can get this project moving along. We discussed phase two. We saw a rendition of the drawings that were already completed. There's going to be some questions on what the project's going to look like. The final steps on how this is going to proceed. We still have talked about the estimated range to be in the $10 to $12 million cost for the project, which is inclusive of tonight's motion one of 1.78 million for the phase one, which would be the start of the demolition and get ready for the reconstruction of those two areas. Oh, and as part of that phase two, we have a Speesel's proposal to develop the construction drawings to submit the project to the DOE for bid and oversee the implementation that should be added to the November agenda. Then we moved into another future project with the high school auditorium renovations. This would be for Steinert and Hamilton West. We're looking to get Spiesel, our architect, involved to put together a potential schedule for completion. The committee agreed to move forward with the support of the board, hopefully with Spiesel proposal to develop the construction drawings, bid and management, but a hold on deciding the final order and whether next summer we're going to do one or two of these projects at the same time. If we do one, then it's going to be stretched over 2 summers, and everything's based on the final proposals that are submitted. We're looking at allocation for state aid and some other potential financial resources to fund this project. Also, the business office, Mrs. Atwood submitted a draft of the 26-27 budget calendar, which we're going to look at how the process starts and how it goes through the whole process. There was one concern about the timing, since New Jersey's going through a governor change this year, how the funding allocation meeting from the governor's office could be delayed since a new governor's coming into place, and that may put that may tighten up the schedule a little bit between the funding allocation and our preliminary budget that has to be gone over and then submitted to the public, and then it could push back our final budget presentation to the state of New Jersey. But it's all we don't know what's going on yet until the governor's office submits that data to the district so the committee can review everything and either add or subtract whatever's needed to balance this budget for next year. We also, I asked for a transportation facility update at our new space where we are leasing from Shepherd over on East State Street Extension. The new office space has been completed, but there has been just a small little delay in getting the office portion of that department into that facility due to the fact that there was no fiber optics going into the facility. And apparently, for us to get that fiber optics, we have to submit that they have to submit a permit to run that fiber down through the pole, from the pole from East State Street into the building. And it appears that there's a 90-day time frame that it takes for those permits to be awarded. But the drivers are going over there. They're parking there. They're using the buses out of there. Just that the office isn't on that site right now. So we're hoping that we can get that hopefully by the end of the year. That's what we're hoping for. Then we talked briefly about the food service. As everyone knows, even the board, the public, I always say, please get your applications filled out. It's needed for funding through the state and through the federal government. We have everybody involved trying to get these things filled out so we can get the funding that's needed for the free and reduced. Our biggest concern at this time is we have approximately 540 students that have not filled out their applications that were qualified for this program last year. And we have multitude of people trying to get this stuff done. Parents may be a little, I don't know, I don't want to use the word confused, but if they think that they're getting a free lunch, they are. But for us to get that free lunch, we still have to have the paperwork to send into the state and into the federal government. So whether your child is getting a free lunch or not, the paperwork has to be filled out or we don't get the money from the feds. And it's a big problem. And that's where our debt starts. We cannot recover that debt. It's unrecoverable. If your child is getting a free lunch and they're eligible, and you don't fill the paperwork out until November, from September until November, they've gotten a free lunch. And that debt continues and it's unrecoverable because the state or the feds don't go retroactive once that paperwork is filled out. So it's very important that these whether you're available or eligible or not, just fill it out. So it just makes our job a lot easier here. We don't have to spend so many resources on our administration tracking down people to get the money and get the paperwork filled out. So it's very frustrating when I read now that we have 540 students that were free last year, didn't fill out the paperwork. So what's happening now is all these people getting lunches for free, where it's being added to the debt. And when we add it to the debt, it takes away from other programs that we could be using, or even through facilities where projects that we can be doing. So last year we were somewhere around $500,000 that we couldn't recover. So I just want to make sure that everybody just get it done, and you won't hear me talk about it no more. So, but there is a little bit of good news. The current lunch debt is just a little bit lower at the start of this year than it was last year. So we're hoping that we can, like I say, get these people to get this stuff filled out so we can keep that number as low as possible. And we also discussed we have to submit an annual comprehensive maintenance plan. That's on a motion tonight. It's required by the state of New Jersey to to let them know what we're doing how we're doing our maintenance and what we're doing maintenance on, and our schedules and stuff like that, filters and all that stuff. Then there's some more good news. We talked about the federal shutdown. And as of this meeting, the shutdown has had no impact on this district whatsoever as of right now. But you never know what could happen next week. So then we had a few all committee agendas items. It was the coaching, it was already talked about it in the North, new supervisor recommendation by Dr. Rocco, the summer camp initiative, and the administrator evaluation system. Dr. Copeland reviewed the new administrator evaluation system. The board approved community school, which you have already heard about, and the Dr. Rocco sent out a couple of emails on the how the chain of command is supposed to work with the district, with the board. And that concludes my report. Our next meeting is scheduled for Wednesday, November the 12th at 8:30 a.m. And there's nothing on negotiations.
Thank you, Mr. Kanka.
If anybody has any question?
Do we have any questions in regards to the Finance and Operation Committee report?
I don't have a question, but Mr. Kanka, the one thing that we discussed this afternoon, I think was really important, and that is we were talking about how schools carry a Title I designation, and there may be in the minds of people that because the school has the designation, lunches are free for everybody. And the designation doesn't, yes, it allows people within the school to get free lunches, but it not automatically, to your point, that they have to fill out the paperwork. So if you have a student in a Title I building, they are eligible for free lunch. They don't automatically get a free lunch without the paperwork being done. So I thought that was a really good point that you made.
We're going to feed them anyway, but
Right.
we just can't. We have multiple schools now that are 100% free, and just because it's free, you still got to fill the paperwork out so we can get the funding from the state and from the federal government. So, and it was Ms. Soto brought up a very good point. With the SNAP benefits being in jeopardy as of right now, these kids may not, they may only have what we got. So just get the paperwork filled out. It's that simple. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Kanka. Do I have any questions in regards to Finance and Operation?
Can I just ask a question to follow up on that? What can we do? Is there anything that we can do to try? The Title I schools, obviously, that's already been communicated to, right? So have we already communicated to the parents of all the students that literally, like, your lunch is going to be free? We just need the paperwork back? I mean, what can we do to, if it's that simple for them to get free lunch, and there's 540 pieces of paperwork, applications that haven't been submitted, what can we do?
We have added to Power School the application so that they can just click on it. We have staff members at the schools contacting families. Hey, reminder, you qualified last year, you're going to fill out the form. And we remind parents at other events like back to school night.
Okay, so even the ones that qualified last year, there's others in that school now that qualify, even if they didn't qualify, because everybody in that school is getting it. So is there like something, I'm just asking if there's something like a robocall to all of the parents of that school that we can do, or, something to hit
doing that as an outreach effort, and through Katie's office, the business office has been reaching out as well. But a lot have been adequately responding to staff members making these phone calls, like the secretaries will call to do the reminder. But it's right there on Power School. I mention it at PTA events when I go to the monthly meeting. Hey, reminder, fill this out. It's right on Power School.
Yeah.
And it just takes a few minutes. And all you have to do is either click opt out or fill in the button to answer the information. And it also should be noted that in addition to the SNAP issue, that if you do qualify, you not only can get lunch, but get free breakfast as well.
Mhm.
So we provide that. So if times are tough right now, especially given the shutdown, take advantage of that. Talk to your student that maybe they don't usually get a breakfast,
Mhm.
but now they might need it. We do offer that.
Yeah. So, yeah, and forgive me, because I know that we do a lot of things like electronically or like even on Power School or at the PTA meetings, but honestly, we all know that not every parent is going to go to a PTA meeting or even go to Power School. So I'm just trying to think of, some more creative and just, I don't know, just something that we can do to try to get to every single person. Even if, like you said, the secretaries are calling them at home, then they're calling them at home and trying to do it that way. It's very manual, and very time consuming, don't get me wrong, but if that's what need be, then okay.
And Mrs. Williams, to add, we also have had evenings where there is availability for the families to come in and staff members to help them fill out this information, including for our immigrant families that don't speak English. So we have put in place also supports to help the families fill out this information.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
and the problems, it's just not isolated to Title I, it's district-wide,
Right.
this whole thing. So everybody should fill it out, just to be on the safe side. It's only gonna help us, eliminate some of the debt that we've incurred with this. So just please fill it out. And I won't say another word about it again.
Thank you, Mr. Kenka. Ms. Harvey, do you have a report with regards to the PTA?
Yes, I do. Thank you. The PTA presidents met on Monday evening. Dr. Rocco was present with me as well, and we met at Grice. Grice, as our host school, gave a little spiel about how great Grice is, and they're doing great things right now. So Denise, the PTA president, spoke about the Hispanic Heritage Night. They had a dance for their students, and they also had a pink night to celebrate breast cancer awareness. Mr. Walker, the principal, also spoke. He's very proud of his school because he's not only the principal, but also a former student. He told us a little bit more in depth about the RISE program that we had mentioned earlier, but just from his perspective, I will give because it had details that were not shared earlier. But the RISE program is a restorative justice type of program where students had been punished in the past. They're now trying to be rehabilitated. So he noted that not only has the room been transformed, but their SRO officer who used to park in front of the detention room, and so students would see it, they actually moved the parking spot because that association is negative for the mentality of rehabilitation. So the goal is to rehabilitate the students and show them upon reflection how they can better themselves. So there's a lot of programming about having conversations throughout the day that they're in their not detention, but in the RISE room. They have to write about their lessons, so it's a learning experience for them. He also talked about how to reach this generation that is on screens all the time, that they moved in a TV monitor in there to gather their interest. He noted that since the implementation of this program, discipline has decreased. So it's a good program that we should look to try to adopt in other schools. Mr. Walker was also very proud of what Dr. Rocco had mentioned about Grice's algebra and geometry scores, that they were top in the state. And he spoke about how 2 of his teachers were invited to the symposium so that what we did at Grice could be replicated throughout the state. So that's a good thing to show how the NJSLA scores are on the rise and that our district is a front runner in the state for how to use those test scores to improve the students. There was also we transitioned into talking about a One Hamilton PTA program that we are doing with the district. Many of you might have been to the Whole Child Fair that we've had in the spring. We're now going to add an additional component to that fair through the work of the PTAs, and Denise at Steiner was on the forefront of leading this. It will have a forum for parents where they can have questions answered, so that there will be different breakout rooms. So let's say you have a question about how to keep your child safe on the internet. There'll be a breakout room for you to have a 15 to 20-minute discussion where there will be a panel of speakers who will be knowledgeable about the topic, and you can you can ask questions, hear a little bit about what they have to say, and there'll be different topics that deal with social emotional wellness. They want it set up similar to how we've set up Tech Night, but have a feature of mental health, and Dr. Disler is going to work with them to incorporate this into the Whole Child Fair. The date is announced, so put it in your diaries for March 10th, 2026. They also, the PTAs, by gathering together, spoke about how the different schools had their own versions of this, and that they're going to work together to try to bring in other speakers that have been successful at those other schools. We also, we wanted, the goal of that program is that so parents don't feel alone, and they want to help them deal with situations like how often you should look at your child's cell phone, and other things that you just might not know who to reach out to or what to think about this, and it'll be a forum for that. They were also talking about bringing in AIR Attitudes in Reverse, which is a nonprofit that works with mental health and destigmatizing mental health. Then we talked about how the district community relations committee that Dr. McSheen had mentioned earlier is actively trying to increase PTA members' attendance in the program. So we wanted the PTAs to take it back to their members so that they are encouraged to attend, and noted how the district community relations committee operates with subcommittees that look at subtopics that are discussed monthly. If you have an interest in one topic, you could come for that month. If you want to try a different topic, you could come then for the next month. You're not stuck in any sort of subcommittee, and then it's really like a town hall for our district where you can go and talk with people about certain topics that are set, and that if you want to be added to this listserv where you can get the reminder, hey, we're meeting at whatever school each month, you can email Cassandra Hodges through our district website. Then Dr. Rocco gave his community updates, which a lot have already been talked about this evening. So I will just share things that he might have not geared towards our public, but he spoke about the block scheduling to answer concerns that the PTAs might have had in terms of how the blocks are working, and how that activity period will play out, that the students will have options for doing an activity like marching band, sports, theater, tutoring, and so that the block scheduling is really geared towards encouraging students to make the better use of their time, and allow teachers to have greater length to go in depth with topics, so that they have 80-minute periods, and it's more conducive to transitioning to either the workforce or college, because you don't have 40-minute blocks in the real world. He noted that they're slowly rolling out the activities because we first have to get down pat the instructional blocks. So we're working on that. One thing that was also mentioned is that we're now bringing midterms and finals. I just wanted to note on the agenda that we are approving a calendar that change, so that the community is aware. We have our asked to approve the calendar change that would give January 22nd through the 27th half days for high schools only. So that is a change, and that is to accommodate the midterms so that students can take the midterms and then have the half day. That will encourage permitting to have tutoring, study guides, and prep from teachers. We're going to have a website launched in November that will continually add resources so that students are prepared for these midterm exams starting in January. Dr. Rocco also reminded us about the cell phones in the district. I think it's a good reminder that for elementary, there are no phones or any electronic device that transmits that a student can have during the day. For middle school, they can have them to go to school, but they must be away during the day. For high school, there are limits. They're allowed to have them, but there is a committee that's being formed about whether and what changes might be made to that cell phone policy. So if you have interest, you can contact Dr. Rocco and give your thoughts and ideas. There were some thoughts and ideas discussed at the meeting as well. Then we talked about how we had a discussion about the ways different PTAs function at different schools. And it was a nice discussion about how we are one Hamilton, but the PTA serve specific needs for their schools. So it's great if parents want to get involved and grandparents want to get involved and community members can join the PTA, just providing support, because the biggest thing that the PTAs see is that they don't have enough volunteer support, and that membership is open to any community member who pays the dues. So thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Harvey. Do I have any questions in regards to the PTA committee report?
I just have I want to clarify, we've been talking back and forth about the terms used for the test. It's technically a midterm, but it only covers what is learned from September to the end of, till December, right? The first term. And then the final is going to cover January to June. So it's technically a test given midway. Maybe we call it a midway test, but it's not your traditional midterm and then a cumulative final. Okay. The final is only going to cover the second half of the academic year.
Dr. McSheen, you did have a question?
Yeah, a comment actually, and I want to thank Ms. Harvey for bringing up DCR, because turns out I missed one really important thing, which was to mention when the next meeting is. And as a reminder, at the next meeting, we will have Principal Walker with us to discuss the RISE program, which was that restorative practices program at Grice. So the next meeting will be held virtually via Zoom on Tuesday, November 18th. That's again, Tuesday, November 18th from 5 to 6 p.m. The virtual link will be shared via Google Calendar invites and on our webpage. And again, if you're interested in joining the District Community Relations Committee or joining one of these meetings, you can look it up online. The DCR at htsdnj.org is our email address, and you can email them to get involved. Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, seeing none, I'm going to move on to the monthly suspension report. Do I have any questions regarding monthly suspension report?
No questions. We have had a significant drop in discipline. It's great to see. I went through it with a fine-tooth comb, and people are working hard and kids are behaving.
Thank you, Dr. Farrar. Any other questions? Okay, do I have any questions on the monthly HIB report? Do I have any questions on the monthly health report? Okay, seeing none, I'm going to move on to hearing of the public on agenda items. I do have 2 individuals signed up, so there's no need to extend the time period. Please remember when you come up to the microphone, please just state your name. And remember, this is on agenda items. And first I have Mr. John Muka.
Good evening, everybody. My name is John Muka, lifelong Hamilton resident, candidate for school board. Am I allowed to comment on Dr. Rocco's superintendent's report?
Mr. Muka, you can make your comments as long as in the end it has something to do with the agenda. So if you wanted to start by the comment, go right ahead, as long as you have a question in regards to the agenda items.
Well, I can't have any questions, so I'm glad to see that things are going better. It sounded like a great report on Grice. Good information was in that report. I would like to get a copy of it if possible. Can I ask that be sent to me so I can go over it and participate in it a little bit better? Is that a yes or?
We'll be doing our November report. That's when the data report comes out. We'll provide it then.
Okay, but I don't think it would cover everything that was in your report because I also have questions about the community schools. So you touched on that. I'm not sure I got all the details just in hearing it in passing. So in any event, I don't understand really what the community schools are all about. And I think a lot of people would like to know how much expense is going to be involved in doing this project. Since we're trying to lift up some of our own schools, maybe it's better that we use our own funds to raise our own schools. What happens is Trenton and Ewing going to contribute more to our schools than we're going to contribute? I don't understand. I'm also concerned that it's a step in the direction of loss of home rule here over our own schools. So in terms of guidance and who's in charge of what, right now it's not that clear. And is this like a charter school setup or is it still regular? They stay the same, on the same status with us as part of our school system. So, I know you can't answer these here, but if you could address that in an email, that'd be much appreciated. Now, I just want to make another comment here. We have a lot of extra visitors tonight. I can't think of any reason why other than the election that's coming up. So I'm just wondering in the next hearing of the public, is school related also election related, or are they 2 different things? And if we're going to allow election related comments, President Thornton, since you are a candidate, will you then recuse yourself from presiding over that if that's what's going to happen? Thank you.
Next, I have Peg Kirchhoff.
Oh, excuse me. My name is Peg Kirchhoff, a resident of Hamilton Township. Again, I'm gonna take a page out of Janice's book. HIB reports. There has been less of them, as Ms. Ferraro said, but that doesn't tell us how much less, what kind there are, where they are, how many students are involved, or any pertinent information that we as parents and residents and taxpayers should know. So there is a report because obviously there has to be a report for somebody to say it's less. Okay, fine. This confidentiality stuff, I've mentioned it before. We don't need names. We don't need addresses. We don't need phone numbers. We just need to know what's happening in our schools that you are not telling us. And you're refusing to tell us. And this stuff behind the lawyer stuff, no, I don't buy it. There's something, that's a farce. That's really just a farce. So I'm going to keep pounding on it until something happens. And with the thing with the free lunches, I know this again is not going to be popular, but so what else is new with me? you know, eventually there has to be either a reward or I hate to use the word punishment. It's the only one that comes to my head right now. But if you know that there are 500 children that are being fed free, you know who they are. Somebody in these schools knows who they are. There should be some pressure put on the parents to sign this. It's not it's not going to cost the parent a dime, but it's going to save the school district $500,000, according to Mr. Kanka. Isn't there something that can be done to get this, well, you can't get it back, but to ensure that this is not a problem to begin with? There's a lot of smart people up there, okay? Nobody can make any suggestion as to a repercussion if the parent does not fill the paper and we do not get reimbursed. And everybody's going to say, oh, you know, she doesn't want to feed the kids. She wants the kids to go hungry. The kids are not going to go hungry either way. So that's off the board. The problem is we need somebody to stand up and say, okay, your child is going to get fed breakfast or lunch, but all you have to do is fill out this paper. That $500,000 that is now going out of the school district for this could be spent on your child for other resources or for other purposes. Now, I don't know what seems to be the problem with it, but Mr. Kanka has mentioned it several times, and it's bothered me several times. But the parents need to learn responsibility. If the parents don't learn responsibility, the children will not learn responsibility. So I don't know what you can do, but I don't believe that you can just sit by and let this continue on. So in 2 years, that's $1 million. $1 million that is unnecessarily being spent by this township when if some kind of new rule, new law, new enforcement cannot be begun. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Okay, so that does conclude our hearing of the public on agenda items, and I'm going to move to our agenda.
This gentleman
Oh,
raising his hand. Mr. Casimir's out there. He forgot to sign up.
Is this on an agenda item, sir?
Lunches. Andy Casimir, 9 Dover Road. Don't we still have truant officers or officers who check on residency? Can't we send them out to these homes, have the paperwork filled out already and say, here, parents, sign this? I don't know. I mean, if calling isn't working, if meeting with them in the school isn't working, then if we have these people that are still employed by the district, and I'm not sure that we still do, send them out to the houses, have the paperwork already filled out and say to the parent, here, you need to sign this paper. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So at this time, I'm going to move on to the board agenda, and we'll start with curriculum and instruction. Dr. Ferrara, can you take us through curriculum and instruction agenda items?
Yes, I will. Upon the recommendation of the superintendent, I move items 1 through 16.
Second.
I'm going to start with Dr. McSheen. Do you have any questions in regards to curriculum and instruction agenda items?
Yes, I do. Just give me one moment, please. Yeah, so I have a couple of questions on item. Oh, what was it? It was the Princeton University High School program. Sorry, item number 10. So I was wondering if we had a ballpark or a range of eligible students that we were thinking might be able to take advantage of this? I know we said,
Dr. Disler's over there.
oh,
Right now, I think it's less than 5.
okay. I wasn't thinking it was going to be very large, which
No,
is
we
great.
had 2 participate a couple years ago.
Okay, awesome. And I just wanted to throw it out there. I know it's about 5-ish students, it sounds like right now. I,
That's if they choose to participate.
Those are 5 eligible students. though.
eligible, yes,
So they'd have to
So-
apply and be accepted.
exactly. Are these the courses that would be offered usually during the day? Is it during the high school time?
During the high school day.
Okay, so I think one good thing about again, this is a small population of students. I don't want to spend so much time on it, but I'm very supportive of a program like this because I think it's important. I think with the block scheduling, it allows the flexibility for a student to do that and not miss, a certain day if they know that they're going to be taking a class during a certain period of time. So that's great. And I just want to throw it out there in case we've been talking a lot about staff benefits and people facing some challenging times coming up. I just want to comment or suggest if these students might need some kind of coverage of like the $50 fee, which, in my mind for a college course isn't a horrible application fee, but when you're struggling and you might not know for your family, how you're going to pay $50 in groceries, that could be a lot. So if there's any way that they can reach out to you, that would be great if we could be proactive about that. And then I also just had a question about, are they responsible for their transportation or is that part of the program?
They're responsible for their transportation.
Okay. Great. Thank you. I did have one more question. It was on the decommissioning of the books. There were what was it?
The Wayfinder book?
Yes, exactly.
So we have new ones. We have
You have new ones.
2025 editions, which is why the 2024s are being decommissioned. And that middle group of books, you see how old they are.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Okay.
we got new books for
Yeah.
those.
Just for everyone else, there were a set of workbooks that were to be decommissioned and their 2024 publication date. But Dr. Farrar just mentioned that there was a new set that came out. And so it sounds like we have up-to-date books for them now. Great. And that is all for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. McSheen. Ms. Soto, any questions?
No, thank you.
Dr. Ferrara, any questions?
None, thanks.
Ms. Stanton, any questions?
Not questions, but just clarification for a few items. For 15 and 16 regarding the Mercer Street Friends and the Community School Coalition Charter. This is a charter, meaning this is a group opportunity for Trenton, Hamilton, and Ewing. This is not related to charter schools, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and then next, this is going to be funded by the Mercer Street Friends private organization, not the school district, correct?
Correct.
Yes, okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Stanton. Ms. Harvey?
I just wanted to comment on the trips that the students have. Some great opportunities coming out for overnight trips, both to Key Largo and to Washington, D.C. And I just think it's amazing that these students will actually get to meet a Supreme Court justice, something that a lot of people don't have the opportunity. So I'm proud that our district is able to offer that opportunity to our students.
Thank you, Ms. Harvey. Ms. Williams?
No, thank you.
Ms. Byrne?
Yes, excuse me, I do. I too have some questions regarding the community school concept. And what will be different at the schools that are designated as the community schools? What's going to take place differently than that's taking place now? And I also am concerned that it's going to eventually fall on the taxpayer, that like right now it's a grant, but going forward, we want to expand this to more schools. Is that correct?
Yeah, that is correct.
And so does this include social services for like, are Hamilton residents going to be paying for social services for kids in other districts?
No,
They're only going to be paying for the kids in our district?
we're not paying for the kids in our district either. The grant, there's no cost here. It's homeschool rule. This is not a charter school. It's our schools. They stay our schools. But the teachers, the administrators, the support staff in the schools often work to help students and families in need. And they do lots of stuff all year long to make sure that our children have what they need and families have what they need. In the process of that, they're helping students and families to focus on learning. But they're also teachers and they're teaching all the time, and the administrators are running the buildings. So the community school coordinator is designed to do a needs assessment with the school community involving the teachers and the families and the students of what are the focus areas that families and students need help with, teachers need help with. And the community school coordinator, which the funds are going to, is there to work with the staff and the administration and the families to address those needs. That's not a cost. The coordinator's fee is already paid for. Those responsibilities are taken care of for 2 years. The goal of the coalition is to seek additional funding forward. And that additional funding forward is an attempt to maintain the community schools and expand the community schools. So the coalition was originally, before we became a coalition, was originally designed to look for federal funding. That federal funding doesn't exist right now. It all got shut off. So there was a grant that could, there was funding that Mercer Street Friends did receive. And then Princeton Area Community Foundation was willing to throw in additional funding so that 2 years worth of funding would implement community schools. And they're based on the 4 pillars that I talked about in my report. And the goal here is to make sure that students, when all the other issues are addressed, can focus on learning, and it will help with our teachers and our administration in each building.
So there are already some existing schools in Trenton that have this community concept. Is that
I think there's
correct?
2 or 3 right now.
Do you have any examples of what some of those services or some of those extras that are taking place there that we're not doing right now in Hamilton that we would look to see happening?
It's not that we're doing it. It would be a designated person to help and assist. So sometimes children have eye problems and can't get to an eye doctor, whether that's because there's they can't get an appointment, they don't have insurance, whatever the reason is. So if it's found that there's a need that children have issues and maybe need to see an ophthalmologist, then the community school coordinator would bring in an ophthalmologist. Right now, SNAP is going to run out on November 1st. We're going to have hungry families. A community school coordinator would be working with food pantries, with Princeton Area Community Foundation, with Mercer Street Friends to make sure that those families were getting some type of food so that they don't go hungry. So those are kind of examples that they would deal with. Maybe a family needs other type of assistance. Maybe, assistance with finding
Laundry,
a
Dr.
new
Rocco,
home or
right? Laundry is a big
Laundry.
one. A
Laundry's a
lot of
big
kids don't come to school because they don't have clean clothes.
So those type of things that sometimes we take for granted are really reasons why kids don't come to school or struggle in school or have challenges. But our teachers bend over backwards to meet those needs. The school coordinator is there home to help them with that and even take on some of that responsibility.
And what happens after the 2 years and the grant?
That's why the coalition exists, and we've been working for 18 months, and we continue to work every month to identify funding streams. And what we hope will happen within the next 18 months is that those grants will open back up and we'll apply for those grants.
Okay.
That's the plan right now. If not, Princeton Area Community Foundation and Mercer Street Friends, they are willing to help us with additional funding or seek additional funding to move forward. This is a commitment by those organizations with us. And we have a very long track record with both organizations supporting Hamilton schools.
Thank you.
Yes.
Any other questions, Ms. Byrne?
Oh, thank you.
Mr. Kanka?
Yes, I just want to Just go back on what Dr. Rocco said on the two grants that the administration has applied for. It just goes to show everybody that this district and this administration is putting the children with their health, welfare, and their safety in this district in the forefront of this district. I want to thank him and his office for reaching out, and hopefully we'll get this money to help out. And thanks again.
Thank you, Mr. Kenka.
May I ask one question? Is there somewhere online, Dr. Rocco, where the community would be able to access more, like more information about the community schools?
Sure. If you Google community schools, there is an national organization, and it breaks down the 4 pillars and what works. This is happening in a number of states right now. New Jersey has been kind of trying to get this by individual districts. Julie Borst, who's in charge of executive director of Save Our Schools, has been trying to do this for a number of years. We were actually on one of the federal grants about 3 years ago, and we were not accepted into the grant. So if you Google that, you'll find the Community Schools National Network, which will explain that. And there's a hub in Philadelphia, and I forget which university it's connected with, but it's there.
For the sake of our school district, is there a way that we could put something on our homes page, for the Hamilton Township School District?
Yeah,
So that as we move forward, if there's parents that can,
We're going to be doing a whole press release and things.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Ms. Thornton, let me add one more thing. There's a program it's in one of the southern states, I think it's Alabama, where the community schools partnered with a university, and the university took a bus and literally filled it with washing machines and dryers, and they drive it through the community so that people have access. Because, you think about our own town, most of the laundromats are off Whitehorse Mercerville Road, right? There's none further west to maybe I don't even know about Trenton, because I only use the one on Whitehorse Mercerville Road when I'm desperate, like when my dryer dies. But again, that is such a key thing that so many of us don't think about, because we have our washers and dryers in our homes. But if you're in an apartment, they might be in the basement. You're sharing them. You might be washing clothes at 2:00 in the morning like you used to when you were in college. But so it's those little things that community school organizations try to address.
Dr. Farrar, do I have any other questions in regards to curriculum and instruction? Okay, Ms. Atwood, can you take us through roll call?
Dr. Farrar?
Yes.
Ms. Harvey?
Yes.
Mr. Kanka?
Yes.
Dr. McSheen?
Yes.
Ms. Soto?
Yes.
Stanton?
Yes.
Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Byrne?
Abstain 15 and 16. Yes to the rest.
Ms. Thornton?
Yes, I do need to abstain on 13. I am conflicted out. Yes to the rest.
Motion's pass.
Now I'm going to move on to finance and operation. Mr. Kanka, can you take us through finance and operation agenda items?
Yes, as per recommendation, the superintendent, I move motions 1 through 14.
Second.
Mr. Kanka, I'll start with you. Any questions in regards to finance and operation?
None at this time.
Ms. Byrne, any questions?
Yes, I have a question about the withdrawal from capital reserve.
Mhm.
So when we take a large withdrawal, is there a process or put some, how do we go back to replenishing what we're taking out? And I'm not sure what the legalities are of how much we can take out at a time and how that works.
I'll defer to Dr. Rocco and then probably to Ms. Atwood.
Ms. Atwood?
Yes, sure. All the procedures in a capital reserve are in regulations. It's based in finance and accounting code, but for New Jersey, it's in regulation. So you are permitted to put into a capital reserve up to, I think, whatever you have to complete in your long-range facility plan for our district is still quite large. So we don't have a max as to what we can put into it. We have for the last, I believe, 3 years, Dr. Rocco, or at least 2, budgeted a deposit into capital reserve. I think this current year was about a 3.4 million, if I remember. So that's one way to put the money in. This district also, every June, we approve a motion that allows us to look at our balances after I close the year and put into capital reserve. So every year at year end, and I'm not there yet, we're still doing our audit. I have my idea how much is going to go back in. But it can range from a couple million, sometimes none, but usually over a couple million. So right now, if you look in actually in our finances, it shows 13 million in the reserve. That is before we've moved the money from the current year budget, because it's just an accounting exercise we haven't done, and the additional money that we're going to put in when we close our books. So right now we have a very healthy reserve amount, but how you move money in, as I said, you budget it in, or you can do it at year end. How you pull it out is by board resolution.
So there's still enough, and if there was like an
Ms.
emergency.
Byrne, I'm sorry. Can you in the microphone? Because I can't
So
hear
if
you.
there was an emergency, there's still enough to cover something. We're not going to withdraw so much that we couldn't cover an emergency, correct?
Correct. And we also have what's called a maintenance reserve that also helps for kind of the pipe breaks and things like that, the maintenance emergencies as well.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Ms. Williams, any questions?
No, thank you. Oh, actually, I do have one question.
Okay.
Just going back to the lunches, I just want to say, and I know I've said it before, if there's anything that we can do more, I just want to make sure that, you know, that if I'm here to help. So.
No questions. Thank you.
Dr. Farrar?
For Ms. Atwood, don't we have to spend down our capital reserve? We can only keep a certain amount in it. Is that not true?
No, there is a max, but our needs far exceed what I can imagine we'd ever get in there. So the max by law is what your plans, your needs in our long-range facility plan, which is quite extensive based on our last facility plan and update. We're in multiple millions of dollars.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Soto?
No questions. Thank you.
Dr. McSheen?
No questions, thanks.
Seeing that there are no other questions in regards to finance and operation, Ms. Atwood, can you take us through roll call?
Dr. Farrar?
Yes.
Harvey?
Yes.
Dr. Kanka?
Yes.
Dr. McSheen?
Yes.
Ms. Soto?
Yes.
Ms. Stanton?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Byrne?
Yes.
Thornton?
Yes.
Motion's pass.
Moving on to personnel items. Ms. Soto, can you take us through personnel items?
Sure. Upon recommendation of the superintendent, I move items 1 through 18.
Second.
Dr. McSheen, any questions in regards to personnel items?
No.
Ms. Soto?
No, thank you.
Dr. Ferrara?
None, thanks.
Ms. Stanton?
None, thank you.
Harvey?
No, thank you.
Ms. Williams?
No, thank you.
Ms. Byrne?
No, thank you.
Mr. Kanka?
No.
Okay, so at every board meeting, we do like to recognize our retirements. I do have a few this evening. So bear with me. I do apologize. So we have a head custodian at Hamilton West, 31 and a half years in Hamilton, Michael Chacchio. A clerical educational assistant at Mercerville Elementary School, 20 years in Hamilton, Lynn Lambert. A librarian here at Crockett Middle School, 20 years in Hamilton, Ida Olitsky. A secretary at Mercerville Elementary School, 15 years in Hamilton, Pamela Pericoloso. Head custodian at Layler Elementary School, 35 years in Hamilton, Alan Jennings. And field maintenance throughout the district, 29 years in Hamilton, Joseph Kerwick. We wish you all the best in your retirement, and we thank you for your dedication to Hamilton. Ms. Atwood, can you take us through roll call?
Yes, Dr. Farrar?
Yes.
Ms. Harvey? Yes. Mr. Kanka?
Yes.
Dr. McSheen?
Yes.
Ms. Soto?
I need to abstain on motion 2, item B7. Yes to the rest.
Ms. Stanton?
I'm going to be abstaining from 17 and yes to the rest.
Williams?
Yes.
Byrne?
Yes.
Thornton?
Yes.
Motion's passed.
Dr. Rocco, I believe.
Yes.
Announcement?
Yes, we're very excited. In that motion or series of motions, we have our new supervisor for 612 ELA and social studies, Victoria Martin, who has lasted the whole time in the meeting here with us. If you don't mind coming to the mic for a moment.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for having me tonight. I just wanted to take a quick moment to thank you for this opportunity. I consider myself a lifelong learner, and I really couldn't be more excited to be here and to get started supporting our teachers, our students, and this community. So thank you so much for this opportunity. I really do appreciate it. Thank you.
Welcome aboard.
So at this time, I'm going to move on to hearing of the public on school-related matters. I do have quite a few individuals signed up. I do have 13 individuals signed up, and I am going to ask the board to extend the time frame for hearing of the public to allow all individuals that are signed up to be able to come to the microphone. Do I have a motion to do so?
So how was that?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion passes.
I thank my fellow board members for accommodating. So I'm going to start, and again, this is on school-related matters. When you come up to the microphone, please state your name for the record. Dana Kowalski.
Hi, I'm Dana Kowalski. Thank you for having me.
Dana, can you pull the mic down so we can hear you? Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you.
I'm a first grade teacher at Greenwood School. My colleagues and I are here to share some information and some concerns we have with you tonight. And while Dr. Rocco and Mr. Scotto have both responded to us, we felt it was important to present it to the board as well. So let me give you some background. This is my 24th year at Greenwood. I have seen numerous administrators, supervisors, and principals come and go. One thing that has remained constant is the inequities Greenwood has seen. Specifically tonight, I'm speaking to the request for an educational assistant. Beginning in 2017, we have requested educational assistants to support our K-2 classrooms, mostly kindergarten. This request was made due to the lack of prior schooling of our kindergartners, which often leads to several students with disruptive behaviors as they acclimate to school. It would also support other grades when we receive older students who are new to the country and have never been in school before. The response has been a consistent no. Add it to your special budget request, or we do not put assistants in gen ed classes, only special ed. Dr. Simon has done that every year and provided very specific data as to why it would be beneficial for us. Here are some of the data points. We average about 65% of ELL students in our incoming kindergarten classes over the last few years, as well as about 25% that have not attended preschool. In September of 2024, another request was made after it was learned that other schools had received a gen ed educational assistant. Once again, the request was denied and recommended to add it to the special budget request for 25-26. Denied again. September 2025 brought us a multitude of challenges, full classrooms, and many students with difficult behaviors. We have persevered and we make things work. However, when this month's board doc showed 7 educational assistants being approved for other schools, we felt very discouraged. Here's what an educational assistant would bring to Greenwood: instructional support, small group instruction for students that are especially needy, support for our MLs and our MTSS tiers, social and emotional support and development, academic gains for our most challenged students, better classroom management, crisis intervention, and support during transitional times. They would also support our specials teachers when they are instructing classes that have challenging students in them. My colleagues will share additional information, and we thank you for your time.
Thank you. John Malloy.
John Malloy, fourth grade teacher at Greenwood. I'm here speaking on behalf of the Greenwood staff, community, leadership, and students. Greenwood has asked to have educational assistants as far back as 2017. These hires would greatly benefit our school community as we are in desperate need of these positions. Since 2017, the environment of Greenwood Elementary has had a marked improvement. Our school has been beautified. We're a national school of character. We pride ourselves in growth mindset and rarely have any suspensions or HIB reports. Our students get to experience a multitude of assemblies and field trips that enhance our students' school experience. We are a true school community. But educational assistance would allow our principal to do the job she was hired for. Imagine seeing your principal on her hands and knees to get a student who's crawling under a table, yelling, making it impossible for the other students to learn, rather than putting all her focus on doing the work that is needed to be done and help all students. These are choices made daily at Greenwood. There's a ripple effect that needs to be recognized due to a lack of educational assistance. To focus on the needs of a few sets off the chain of events that causes other staff members to be moved from their current position to go out and help elsewhere. That means some students may not get serviced that day. We don't have a magic wand that makes everything go our way. All students need structure. All students need focus and calm. All students need a safe classroom. All students of Hamilton deserve this. Educational assistance could make this possible. Many years ago, Ted Reed, my dear friend, and one of the great figures in Hamilton Township School District history, a man whose name is on the training center at Park Avenue, called Greenwood the best kept secret in Hamilton Township. These words must be remembered. Are we as a school district, a school community, doing everything in our power to help all students succeed? I'm on the front line with my fellow staff members every day trying to make the best day possible for our students. Our input needs to matter. People in this room need to trust and value the efforts and the needs of the staff that are working with the children every day, including the needs of Dr. Simon. You can't second guess the needs of a school or a student from a distance. You have to be it every day, living it. You have to be smart, decisive, loyal, and an advocate for the children. These are the qualities demonstrated every day that set Dr. Simon apart. Does everybody in this room truly know how lucky we are to have her? Greenwood does. She's an asset that Hamilton needs to value. Dr. Simon is our leader. She works with us on the front lines every day. Show us that her opinion and all her data that she has collected matters. Please show us that Greenwood, a national school of character, a shining star among other schools, matters to you, and make the necessary changes that need to be made. Give us the help we most definitely deserve and, frankly, we have earned. Thank you for your time.
Miriam Clark.
Okay. My name is Miriam Clark, and I have been at Greenwood for 22 years. I am a proud Hispanic teacher at Greenwood Elementary. I have lived in this district for over 30 years, and it's been such a joy to watch our community grow and change. When my own children attended University Heights years ago, There was only one other Hispanic family at the school. Today, our classrooms are full of bright, beautiful children from so many different backgrounds. And that's something that I'm truly proud of. But even with all this diversity, our students, particularly our brown and Black students, aren't receiving the same level of support and resources as other schools in this district. For example, right now, we have 10 students diagnosed with autism, and their teachers don't have any extra help in the classroom. These teachers are doing their absolute best every day, but it's becoming harder to meet everyone's needs. Our children with unique learning needs deserve the right to support them, for them to thrive, and our teachers deserve the tools and resources to make that possible. I often tell my students the difference between equal and fair. Equal means everyone gets the same, but fair means that everyone gets what they need to succeed. At Greenwood, what we're seeing right now isn't fair. I'm asking the board to take another look on how resources are shared across the district and to keep equity at the heart of every decision. Our students deserve classrooms that are well-equipped, inclusive, and designed for every child to succeed. I believe so strongly in this community and in our district's mission. I know we care deeply about our kids, and I know that together we can make fairness a reality for all. Thank you.
Thank you. Francisco Lopez.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Francisco Lopez, and I am a parent at Greenwood Elementary. I have two children who were newly enrolled here, one with autism in a general education classroom, and another one in kindergarten. I'm here today because I have some concerns about the allocation of resources and support for our students, particularly in younger grades. To start off, I want to highlight the situation in one of the kindergarten classes, which has 23 students, including one who is very disruptive and in need of special education services. Unfortunately, this student's behavior is affecting the learning environment for everyone, and I've seen firsthand how it's challenging for the teacher to manage and for the other students, including my own, to focus and learn. I'm asking the board to consider providing more resources to Greenwood, especially for the younger grades, so that students who need special education support get it from the beginning. I myself had a terrible experience with this when enrolling my kids from Trenton School District to the Hamilton School District, more so with my son who's autistic. It seems that not enough or equal urgency is given to kids with special needs to get them set up with the correct classroom so that they may also thrive from day one with the rest of the students. As I've mentioned before, I myself am a parent of an autistic kid, and I know just how essential it is that these students are properly supported so that they can thrive and so that the rest of the class can have the positive learning environment they deserve. I understand that resources are always limited, but I think we can all agree that this is a situation that's difficult for everyone, including teachers, students, and family. I sincerely hope the board will take this into consideration and find a way to provide the support needed for our students and teachers. Thank you for your time and listening for my concerns.
Thank you. Cindy Tobar.
Hola, buenas noches. Mi nombre es Cindy Tobar.
Hi, her name is Cindy Turbor. She's saying good evening. I'm here as her translator for the night. My name is Anna Lopez.
Soy madre de un estudiante de la escuela primaria Greenwood.
I'm a mother of a student in the first grade at Greenwood.
Todos los veo Todos los días veo cuán profundamente se preocupan
Every day I see how deeply my teachers care about my own student,
nuestros maestros por nuestros niños
our teachers, how deeply they care for our children,
y cuán duro trabajan para ayudarlos a crecer,
and how hard they work to help them grow,
tanto académicamente como personalmente.
how hard they work to see them grow, just not just in academics, but also in their personal endeavors.
Greenwood es verdaderamente un lugar especial
Greenwood is truly a very special place
que ofrece a los estudiantes muchas oportunidades
that offers the students a lot of opportunities,
maravillosas para triunfar.
wonderful opportunities in order to triumph in their endeavors.
Nuestros maestros hacen todo lo posible
Our teachers do everything possible
para apoyar a sus estudiantes,
in order to help their students,
pero algunas aulas incluyen niños
but some classes include children
con necesidades importantes
with additional attention needs
que requieren servicios y atención adicionales
that require additional attention assistance.
Desafortunadamente, simplemente no hay suficiente personal
Unfortunately, there isn't enough personnel
para garantizar que cada niño reciba la ayuda que merece,
in order to guarantee that each student gets the help that they deserve.
y esas necesidades continúan aumentando cada año.
And those needs keep increasing every single year.
Estoy muy agradecida por todo lo que Greenwood ha hecho por mi hijo.
I'm very, very thankful for all of the help that Greenwood has given to my child every year.
A mis hijos les encanta venir a la escuela todos los días,
My children love coming to school every single day,
y eso se debe a los increíbles maestros y personal
and that is owed to all of the incredible teachers and personnel
que hacen de Greenwood un lugar tan enriquecedor.
that make Greenwood such an enriching place.
Pero todos los niños merecen la misma oportunidad
But every child deserves the same opportunities
de prosperar,
to prosper,
y eso solo puede suceder
and that can only happen
cuando nuestra escuela
when our school
tenga los recursos y el apoyo que realmente necesita.
has the resources and help that it truly deserves and needs.
Gracias por su tiempo.
Thank you for your time.
President Thornton. President Thornton, can I address the Greenwood community as their school liaison?
So let's finish the public hearing. If there's something that you would like to add under other business, you're more than welcome to. I just want to continue the public hearing, give everybody an opportunity to speak. Sure. Thank you.
Janice Glonick?
Janice Glonick, as you know. Okay, the last,
Microphone down a little bit. I can't, thank you.
oh, of course, it sounds like it's really loud from here. Okay, the last meeting, John Muka brought up the problem about you not answering questions. Of course, having been at board meetings from back in the days of the Pilgrims, when they used to answer questions, it would run like 20 minutes. A person would ask a question, they'd give the answer, but why this? And then, well, how come that? And they would just keep questioning and questioning every answer. So that's why they ended up not answering questions anymore. I had suggested last year that at the end of the meeting, if you knew the answer for sure, you could say, well, the questions that were asked, here are the answers. Or as Mr. Muka had said, and I had also suggested one time, that next meeting, you say, these were the questions that were asked at the October meeting, and here are the answers. Because the person who asked the question can get the answer from whoever you give the number to, but we in the audience would also like to know what the answer is as well. So I would really think it would behoove you to try to answer the questions publicly without anybody having to ask another question on top of that, either at the meeting, at the end of the meeting, or the next meeting. Changing topic here a little bit, our council, when I went to that meeting, we were changing from one building to another, and they announced it. And then also because of a change to election day is on a council meeting day, so they announced when that meeting is going to be put to a Monday. It would be nice if you guys, at the end of each meeting, would say, we'll see you next month on such and such a day. So at such and such a school, so we would know where to go and what day it is. Because sometimes we meet the third Wednesday, sometimes the fourth Wednesday. This is the fifth Wednesday. And so some very kind board member this year, knowing my computer skills, gave me a copy of all the dates so that I know where to start, when to start looking for where to find the school at. And that would be nice to have a sheet like that in January next to the sign-in sheets where we have at the back table for those who would like to have it, because there are some people, you may know of some, that like to plan way far ahead, their vacations and everything, so they don't miss the meeting. So that would be most beneficial for anybody else who wants it, because I greatly appreciated it. And I'm going to knock off what I was going to say and jump on what I've been hearing. It sounds like Greenwood really needs help. And having taught for first grade for 40 years, I can say the younger the kid, the sooner the help is needed. And you need to get in the kindergarten, first and second grades as soon as possible, because it's only going to get worse as time progresses, and it takes longer and longer to try to catch them up. And then out of control kids, that really screws up your day. Okay, you waste so much time trying to get these kids under control, because I had one teacher, she was new, and I says, how's it going? She goes, I can't cover anything. I knew she had some really bad kids. I says, wait till one of them's absent. Sure enough, she goes, oh my God, I finished everything today because so-and-so was absent. Yes, we need to get these children under control so nobody else loses their education time. And if they need an educational assistant, the sooner you can get it to them, the better. We don't want them to ruin their education. They need it. We should try to get it for them, because education is vital in the elementary school. If you don't have it now, we're going to have major problems in high school. So get them the help they need now, get these kids under control so nobody else loses their educational time. And the ones who need to learn will be able to learn, and the ones who need the help will also then be able to learn too, because they got the help they needed.
Jen Chiarello.
Hello, everybody. This was not on my bingo card for sure. I am here tonight representing my son, who is a senior at Nottingham. I would like to share what he had wrote. Unfortunately, there was an event at school this evening, so he could not attend in person. Good evening. As a senior at Nottingham High School and a proud member of the North Star swim team, I am here tonight to express our concerns for the upcoming swim season. With the shutdown of Steinert's pool last year and no clear plan for this season, we find ourselves unsure of what to expect. All three of our high schools will be fully operating a successful swim team this season, which is making for some challenges with practice schedules with only having one pool. As the only school with the pool that is functioning, we do feel that Nottingham should have priority in first practice after school, especially since there will be no travel time needed to get us into the pool quickly and effectively. We would also like to know if any other pools have been considered as a backup or additional practice options for all of us on the swim team. With the swim season so quickly approaching, it is essential that we have a clear plan and it confirmed so that all the athletic students can prepare not only for their academics, but their swim season, as well as their outside commitments to jobs. Thank you for your time in this matter and consideration. I have to say, as a mom, that was huge, because we want that for our kids to speak up and to know that their voices is being heard. Unfortunately, it was a little disheartening to hear tonight in Agenda H, number 12, Mr. Kanka, with the capital of opening of the funding to close down Steiner's Pool, but no clear plan for where our swim season sports are going to go. So my question for you tonight is to get our answers to our high school members so they can have a successful season and compete with their colleagues. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Lisa Lankowski.
Good evening, Lisa Lankowski, and one of the administrators for Hamilton Township, continuing supporting community, I can't even say education, apologies. I have a couple of items I want to talk about this evening. The first one is that back, I don't know if it was last year or the year before, there were billboards that had popped up from a grassroots group in New Jersey that showed different children, and it said, Johnny is never going to be a doctor or an engineer or a scientist, because they attended the New Jersey public schools. And imagine my surprise when postcard came in the mail for my son from NJIT, and our very own Hamilton High West student from last year, graduate Isabella Zita, was featured on that postcard. So apparently they can. And there's been a very nasty narrative for the past several weeks, months, years about our schools that is so disturbing, about how terrible everything is and how poor performing everyone is. And, Hamilton was just named the top 10 best community in New Jersey, literally was just named this month. And the nasty comments from people about, well, our schools are awful. And yet I sit here in these meetings and I listen to all the amazing things that are happening and all of the amazing work that's being done by so many people in our school district, day in and day out, to help get people to where they need to be. My phone died, so I can't talk about the stats that I had, but Hamilton High West, the profile, when I got this postcard, it was something like 30% of the students at Hamilton High West attended college last year. 20-something% were pursuing employment. Another 20-something% were attending trades, because we have an amazing VOTEC program. And then another percent were attending military, which shows that our kids are going off to become productive members of society, period. I also saw last night on a very famous, infamous group in our town about state testing attitudes and parents going, I tell my kids not to go. I tell my kids not to try. The blue ribbon school districts do not think like this. They know what those school testing, what it means. And yet here we are in our community with people complaining about our state testing proficiencies, telling their own very kids, don't go. It doesn't matter. It doesn't mean anything. We can't have it both ways. This stuff either matters or it doesn't matter. However, it is just a blip of time. And I sit here looking at the things that we're doing, and they're amazing. And I applaud Greenwood for coming out tonight and sitting through this long-ass meeting and talking about the issues that they're having. And I wish more of our school staff did that kind of thing, to talk about it. I wish. There's a whole big thing. Oh, they're worried they're going to be fired. Guess what? They're here and they're on camera and we have their names and they're not going to be fired. So kudos to all of you for your continued hard work. And Greenwood, I hope you get everything that you need and more.
Thank you. Jessica Trombino.
Good evening, Jessica Trombino from Yardville.
Trombino, can you put the microphone a little bit lower so we can hear you?
Okay.
Thank you.
So I just wanted to say that I think it's less than 1% of American citizens enlist and serve in the armed services, if I'm correct. And I don't normally discuss this, but I I enlisted many years ago, and I served for 8 years. I served 4 years in the Army and 4 years in the New Jersey National Guard. I say that because I never thought that I would practice one of the freedoms that I fought to uphold and defend, such as running for public office, public service in the school board. I have, I've been here since 1996, and I have a lot of, friends here in the community that saw me raise 7 children. I have 1 left in our school district, and saw me raise 7 children, and felt that they asked me if I wanted to run for one of the 3 seats up on the school board. So I decided that I thought about it. I looked into some things. I've been coming to school board meetings for years. I've stayed out of the public eye. But upon, seeing good things and some not so good things, like that test, the New Jersey statewide test, where our schools are showing that they're not proficient in math and language arts, that was a big concern for me. And I figured, why not practice what I fought to uphold and run for office and just see if I can get on. There's a lot of people that want to, have asked me to run. And so I said, well, I think there's way better people more qualified than me, but I certainly, wouldn't mind doing something like that. I have concerns, and so that's why I'm here. But it all comes down to that, it's because of my love for children. I come from poverty. I had a learning disability as a child. I suffered the result of being abused as a child. And so I have a sensitive spot for children. I also, because of what I endured as a child, I have a sensitive spot for so many of the issues that I can only imagine are going on in our school districts. I've had teachers come to me and tell me that they have certain issues in the school district. And believe it or not, some teachers have actually said to me that they are too concerned to come forward and say anything about things. I commend Greenwood. I'm so happy to hear them coming forward and asking for more resources, because the kids deserve it. And I agree with that 100%. I want our kids all to get what they deserve. Every single one of them in our district. What was I going to say? So I want to just point out to the community, to the school board, to the public servants here, to our community, that's why I'm running. And I wanted to point out that as somebody who, I do not condone inappropriate speech. I do not condone hateful rhetoric. I, for one, try very hard not to practice something like that. I know that we're all imperfect and we all make mistakes. But I also upheld and fought for the freedoms of people's right to free speech. And that's why, I won't say for anyone to step down or do anything that, because everybody has a right to practice their free speech. And I love seeing everybody here, honestly, that are coming forward. And even if some people might sound annoying, I appreciate that they're practicing their right to speak out on something as public education. I wish I could say so much more. I might make another statement, because I have a lot more to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
I just want to remind everybody, there is a policy on recording board meetings. If you intend to record a board meeting, you're supposed to provide advance notice of the intent to record that meeting. For reference, you can check the board policies. If we do see people recording during the meeting, we may need to go and address the policy with them at that time.
At this time, John Muka.
Wait my time.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Muka. Gavin Linkowski.
All right. Good evening, community and board members. My name is Gavin Lankowski, and I'm currently a senior at Hamilton High West. This is going to be a little different, because you don't see a lot of young faces up here. I've come before you tonight to address a current candidate running for this board. Kyle Chadwick is a candidate running alongside Mr. John Muka and Mrs. Jessica Trombino and their campaign Responsible Education Hamilton. Mr. Chadwick is not the correct candidate for the position. He complains about people calling him evil and that they're spreading hate about him. His response is say it to my face. So unfortunately, he's not here, but here I am. Mr. Chadwick will bring nothing but hate and negativity to a school board that needs the opposite. The latest findings of his hate speech have been on his X account, where he posts extremely inappropriate, racist, misogynistic, homophobic, and anti-Muslim statements. Do we as a community want this hatred and absolutely vile behavior to enter this district? Certainly I don't. How are you able to live with yourself knowing the words you spew affect hundreds of kids' lives that live in the district you plan on being in charge of? Their campaign is based on the same message that his running mate, Mr. John Muka, has been putting forth for years now, spreading messages of hatred and efforts to overturn our Board of Ed, attacking this curriculum and the health and sexual education programs. They've been trying for years to get this district to be divided, to split up households and our teachers while failing miserably, and this is just a new wave of their hate slate. Mr. Chadwick represents the opposite of what this district represents with his illiterate claims and uneducated demeanor. He claims that our district is failing our students and that we can't read. However, these claims aren't backed. And if you ask him to back these claims up, he'll be left dumbfounded and speechless that you have the audacity to challenge his empty claims. I personally spoke to Mr. Chadwick after my gallery class was invited to the Board of Ed meet and greet, thank you, by the way, a few weeks back. And when asked to improve and support racial and socioeconomic achievement gaps in our district, he said, and I quote, "Well, we would try to implement segregation, not 1960s segregation, but segregation of kids that are farther behind and don't speak English." Mr. Chadwick clearly doesn't understand that kids who don't speak English will not adapt by being thrown into a room with kids just like them. Hence why America is called a melting pot, to mix everyone together. Their whole big campaign topic is improving test scores, is no more than a cover-up of exclusion. Their agenda is to make a school less welcoming, less community-oriented, and the opposite of Hamilton Township reflects. Although I am too young to take part in this election, I know the students of Hamilton, especially my friends and other peers, who are able and will be voting. They will be voting opposite of this agenda for the candidates that truly care. If anyone has not made up their mind yet before Tuesday, please feel free to go to Google Kyle Chadwick, Hamilton Board of Ed. Thank you.
Peg Kirkhoff.
Good evening again.
The lower, Ms. Kirkhoff.
Good evening again.
Thank you.
Okay. I have one thing that was from a couple meetings ago is that there was a question about somebody being funded for the school board training. And it was said a couple times, like it can be online. So my suggestion is that doesn't everybody go online? Does everybody have to go to this particular conference in person? It's like, it was a big deal about $871 or some amount like that. So, since we're $500,000 behind with collecting food money, maybe that would be a drop in the bucket, but nevertheless, a drop in the bucket. One thing other that, we haven't talked about preschool in a bit, but my husband went to a college, now I know it's college, that had a lot of international students. And before any of them could go into class, they had to go into a English learning forum to see where they were in speaking the language. I bring this up because there's a lot of talk about preschool, but there's also a lot of issues with the teachers in the classroom. A lot of them are activity-based. We've heard that the classrooms are not always under control. We're not getting the good reports that we get at JBs, that's for sure. But a concept that is probably novel or whatever, I don't even care if it's novel or not, is that maybe instead of just having across the board pre-K, we had some sort of program that identifies students that have language issues with English as a first language and get them to speak English if they can, or at least introduce them to some English so that they wouldn't get to to pre-K or to kindergarten. They have a little bit of a knowledge of the language. It would make it easier for the teachers and it would make it for the other students. And it would also mean there would not be 1,000 kids that would fill this bill. So, and there could probably be smaller classes. So you could have it more community-based where they have preschools now. There's a lot of ways to handle the issue. It's not just throwing money at one general permanent preschool. I have no problem with preschool, but we have a different world than it was when I sent my son to school 50 years ago. And I've heard from teachers where they have to translate on phones. That's not good for the students. It's not good for the teacher. And it takes time away from the children, from the kids who are in the classroom. Total teaching time. So it's a thought, but sometimes you have to think out of the box because the box doesn't seem to be working so good anymore. You know, it just doesn't seem to be working anymore. So I have that. And again, I think that we need to definitely find a way, take a proactive course to re-getting this money back from the food. Mr. Kanka has been on this for a while, and he doesn't seem to have much support from the rest of the board. Nobody seems to be trying to work out an issue to get this money back. As stewards of the money of this school board and this township, that should be one of your main points in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Fran Carroll?
I just wanted to stress the importance of voting. There obviously is a very important governor's race going on right now, you might have heard about. And, state assembly and of course, county officials and municipal officials. But just to stress to everybody that Board of Ed is just as important, I think. And I voted today. I went to early voting. That's going on right now at Colonial Firehouse. I highly recommend it. There wasn't even a line. I was very excited to cast my vote. I am a poll worker, so I have to. I'm not going to be able to do it on Tuesday. But also just want to point out to everybody that it's not going to be on that first screen with the governor and all those other in the partisan races. It's going to be on a second separate screen when you go in person. If you're voting in mail, it was on the back of your ballot. A lot of times it gets overlooked. And like I said, Board of Ed is very important, particularly in Hamilton this year. For anybody who has been following the news, NJ.com did a story about it. The Patch, Tap Into, Politico even picked it up. We have a lot of schools of good character, which here in Hamilton, which I'm proud of. McGalliard was when my kids were there. And I would hope that we would all do our research and elect candidates to the Board of Ed to represent our district, to represent the voters, the citizens, the taxpayers, who these candidates, hopefully, that we select will also be of good character. Hamilton, a lot of this, what has been in the news, and I do encourage everyone to do their research, has been very embarrassing for Hamilton. It doesn't put us in a good light. And I just want to prove, hopefully the voters will prove that Hamilton is better than some of the things that have come out from certain candidates here, which has been alluded to. Thank you to the high school student who spoke. It's good to see the folks, the students come out who are very impacted by this. But let's show that we're engaged, we're doing our research, and that Hamilton is better than that. And we are all good character. We are a town and a school district of good character. Thank you.
Thank you. So that has concluded our hearing of the public. No. So,
Let's move on to the agenda. So what are we next on the agenda?
we're done with the hearing of the public. So, excuse me, you are out of order, sir. You yielded your time for hearing of the public, and we're going to move on to other business. You had an opportunity to speak. I did call your name. You chose not to. We extended the period of the hearing of the public, and at this time, we're going to move on to other business.
And so this directly benefits you as a
You,
candidate.
You are out of order.
You are a
I am
candidate, and this type of
asking you
defamation
Out of
benefits you.
order. Okay, so we're going to move on to other business. I'm going to start, Ms. Soto, I did let you know that you wanted to address the Greenwood community, so I'm going to start with you. So I apologize, Dr. McShane, but I am going to start with Ms. Soto, please.
Thank you. Yes, so to the Greenwood community, for those of you who don't know, I am your school board liaison. Denise Soto, my email address is dsoto@htsdnj.org. I have a very unique lens, and it's why, we get to ask for which schools we want in the district. And I selected, I was assigned Greenwood my first year, but since then I've always asked to remain with Greenwood because I believe in consistency. And to your statement about Greenwood being the best kept secret in Hamilton, 100% agree. Dr. Simons Dickens is amazing. Everybody on staff is incredible. And I feel very honored to be your board liaison. I do wish I had learned about this before tonight's meeting. So like I said, I encourage you to reach out to me. While I can't maybe engage with you in conversation one-on-one, I can then take your concerns and ask Dr. Rocco, what's up? I happen to chair the personnel committee as well. So, as I said, I have a unique lens. I'm a person of color that was raised in this district. I have a daughter that was special needs, raised in this district. She is now one-on-one aide in Bordentown for children on the autism spectrum. My children are biracial. I'm married to a Latino man. There's just, and pick a box, check it. I hit them all, So I love the diversity that is Greenwood, and I want to be able to support you and the families as much as possible. So please don't hesitate to reach out, invite me out to things. I just voted on my favorite mask for the Harvest Festival. I read the weekly updates, and I want you to know that you may not see me visibly all the time at things, but I'm there, I'm listening, and I'm always an ear and a person you can reach out to. Thank you for sharing your concerns.
Thank you, Ms. Soto. So do I have any, I'll go back to Dr. McShane. Apologize.
Well, first, I just want to say, have a happy and safe Halloween. It should be a fun time. I know it's a little challenging sometimes around election season, especially, but for those of us who have families or just like celebrating and being in the community, please do so safely and have a good time. And I just have to comment on the comment I heard of, I thought I heard segregating pre-K students based on their ability to speak a language is wild. And that, I don't think that's an idea that we should be pursuing. That's even native speakers of any language at the preschool level is, ability varies greatly. And so I think it's important to come with, sound ideas that are either researched well or in community with people who are able to do research or experts in the field. It's not bad to hear new ideas, but I'm afraid that might be an old idea that's not been good for anyone. So just wanted to make that comment because that's something that strikes me as someone who spoke Spanish first and then learned English. And now I don't speak Spanish that well at all, but that is something that I'm working on. And again, just be safe and have some fun during this Halloween. Thank you.
I too want to speak to the Greenwood community because you also know that you can always reach out to me. I have to tell most of you who have not been on the board as long as Mr. Kanka and Ms. Thornton and I have been, this staff has come out at least one other time in unison to talk to the board about the challenges at their school. And it was, I know you all remember, it was at Reynolds after we had a community member say that your kids would never achieve in your building. And you all came and you all spoke to the board. I wasn't on the board then. I was out in the audience with you. And so I just, as a team, you are tight. You really are. And I know you are. I too voted on the mask. And we did great work getting your crosswalk in, didn't we? We did. So I'm saddened that you felt that you needed to come here tonight because you do have two of us that would have gone to Dr. Rocco on your behalf. He is the person that has the ultimate authority. I think he heard it tonight, what you need. And I just, on behalf of your students, I thank you. I thank you for always being their champions because you are.
Yes, thank you. First and foremost, I also wanted to address all of our Greenwood family here. It's really great to see everyone out here. I'm sorry that you had to come out under these circumstances, but really the fact that you're all here together and you are making this happen shows that collective action does work and does make things move because you have been seen and heard by the board tonight, and we do understand where you're coming from. And I think that this is something that we continue to work on and can continue to talk about with the administration and hopefully work, in key with all of the educators and all of the families to make Greenwood as great as it can be, because really it's amazing to see the progress and the change and how wonderful things are at Greenwood under Dr. Simmons and with all of these great educators. As you know, Mrs. Soto is your liaison, but I am also reachable as well. Miss Stanton, you can ask Mrs. Kowalski over there, the best Girl Scout leader in all of America in the 1990s. So you can ask her for my contact information if needed, but I really do hear you all. And again, someone that works education adjacent and in special ed, I do understand your concerns. So I hope that we can work something out to make this all run smoothly for you all. And on top of that, October is also National Book Month. So everyone read to yourselves, read to your kids, have your kids read. It doesn't matter if it's, college textbook, a manga book, a newspaper, get them reading. Reading in other languages as well. Let's get them reading in any way possible. I also hope that everyone has a safe and fun Halloween. And reminder, I have to be the annoying one. I do this every month while we're back in school, although a few other board members had brought it up tonight. Please be careful at pickups and drop-offs. We have lots of little people, very important little people, and, people driving and bus drivers and everything. So please take your time. I know we're all in a rush, but we have some important people we're dealing with in the mornings and afternoons. So thank you, everyone.
Harvey? I just had received an email, and I think a few board members had received it way earlier in the month about the opportunities for homeschooling children and sports, and our policy does not permit it right now, but I had engaged the certain community members who reached out in conversation, and I think that it makes sense to just evaluate our policy and just make sure, given it hasn't been changed in many years, what we are doing. So I would like to refer that to the curriculum committee to analyze that issue and as a discussion topic.
Okay.
I thank you for that. So if we can add that to our November meeting for review of the policy.
So when you say add it, do you want,
Your
oh,
initiative,
to our committee
Yes,
meeting? Okay.
I
Yeah.
apologize. To
Yeah.
your initiative committee meeting so that you can begin the conversation and review of the policy.
Why are you looking at me, Mr. Carrig?
So I just want to ask for the next meeting. Is it November 19th? Because I don't have it on my
No,
calendar.
It's not. It's actually funny because I was going to make sure that I announced it is November
The mic.
24th.
November 24th.
November 24th.
Is our next
Sorry,
meeting.
it's
Okay.
a Monday for our next.
That really throws everybody
Monday.
off.
It's not a Wednesday,
So
it's a Monday.
with that being said, though, I truly want to thank from the bottom of my heart. I'm going to get a little emotional because listening to you guys up at the mic tonight, I don't know, I needed tissues because truly your passion for the students, this is what we're all here for. I felt it. I loved it. You guys all came as a unity together. And I just want to say that, I'm sorry for everything, all the things that you've been through to get to this point, because obviously it's been challenging, right? So I want to thank you for getting through that to come here and for voicing your opinion. We've all heard you. I too am here for you guys to reach out to. I know I'm not your liaison on the board, but all of us here, we all work together for you and the students, right? And to help make sure that everything, you're getting all the resources, obviously, with Dr. Rocco. So we will definitely want to talk to, bring this with Dr. Rocco. We'll have further conversations about it. I'm sure that he's already looking into things also. But I just want to say on behalf of just the support as a board member, you guys came here tonight to talk to the board. And as a member, I want to say thank you. It was very emotional, even to hear the parent who needed an interpreter. It's just, I love our district. I can't say enough. We have such a beautiful, all of our schools together, the community of children and the parents and the teachers, the administrators, everybody from the top to the bottom. It's a beautiful family. Okay. So we have all different backgrounds. We come from different places, and for you guys to really come out here and advocate on behalf of your community at Greenwood, I can't say, it moved me, and I want to say I appreciate it. So thank you from the bottom of our hearts for being here. Okay. Thank you. And keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, excuse me, I'm going to echo what my colleagues tonight have said. We're all up here because we're here for you. So you could have reached out to any one of us here on the board, even if we're not your liaisons. As a grandmother to a autistic grandson, I firsthand know how difficult it is and how challenging it is dealing with certain children who need more. And I'm sure that we all feel and have felt your heartfelt pleas tonight. And I hope that there'll be continued conversations and that you will get the help that you need at Greenwood. So thank you for coming out. Oh, also, thank you to Ms. Thornton for bringing up that very important topic. I'm sorry,
That's okay.
Ms. Harvey, yes, late. Both of you for putting it on the agenda and for bringing that up, because we've had many homeschoolers reach out to us regarding whether or not the children can participate in activities. And as a former homeschooler myself, I am a mother of 9 children. I did homeschool most of my kids. I come from a very different place. Some of my children were in homes, at the VOTEC. Some of them went to college, the community school and homeschooled and all that. And I think it's a very important topic that we need to review. And I think it is a good idea that we review our policies going forward, because there are homeschoolers for many different reasons. And I think that if we care about meeting their needs as well as, those that are in the brick and mortar buildings as well. So thank you for bringing that up.
I want to thank the Greenwood family for coming out and voicing their concerns. But I want to address an issue that was brought up tonight, not directly, but indirectly. And Dr. Rocco has seen that communication with board members isn't just limited to just one committee member. It's a board of 9, and Dr. Rocco sets up a meeting for us once a month with the committee chairs. We discuss every single item on the agenda through C&I, through personnel, and through facilities. And those comments and those ideas and those suggestions are passed on to their committees through that committee chair meeting. So when we reach out for suggestions or help from the board, they are getting out there with our committee chair meeting, which is usually the Friday after our initiatives meeting. And we all sit down on a virtual meeting, and we go through our agendas line item by line item, and we discuss with each other, what we need to do and how we're going to reach out and do what we have to do, and looking for suggestions from the board, plus suggestions from the administration. So it's not a board of 1 or 2 people up here. It's a board of 9. And Mrs. Thornton, she also even though she's not a committee chair, she also attends those meetings also with, I don't know, she attends my meetings, I know that, and she keeps me in line, but which is hard to do. But we have a good group here, and we all work together. And I just wanted to clear that up about, we're not working together. We are working together, looking for any way to move an agenda, to bring together ideas that are best for the whole community. Thank you.
I just wanted to say too that I wanted to give credit to Mr. Linkowski just because he is a student in our district, and I know it took a lot for him to come up to the mic and speak his concerns on his behalf. So I just wanted to say thank you, and also thank you to the parent that read the letter from her son that also couldn't be here tonight, because as a student in our district, I just love that those students, as they get older, they're involved, just like our student representatives that were here tonight. I love the involvement of community. I love their passion and the fact that they want to try to help make a difference. So thank you to those students.
Thank you, Ms. Williams. So I would like to also thank the Greenwood community for coming out here this evening and bringing up some of your concerns. They did not go unheard, please know that. And let's work together to figure out what is in the best interest of Greenwood. You guys are an amazing school, and you all know that, right? So, and our students and our community are very lucky to have you, and so are we. So I just want you to know they did not go unheard. We definitely heard your concerns. And we thank you very much for taking the time. It's now almost 10 o'clock, so we appreciate you taking the time to come out here and speak to us. And with that being said, I am going to say that our next meeting is again Monday, November 24th. Do not know the location of the meeting. Perhaps we might get an idea in just 2 seconds of the location if we have it.
Right.
Grice. So Monday, the 24th at Grice. Okay, yes. So everyone have a wonderful evening, and can I please have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Aye.
Aye.
Abstain, motion passes.
All right.